Hello, everyone. I'm just gonna quickly sort this out.
We're just going to add comments really quickly. We've just added a new feature, which is the countdown, which
Restrain chat.
I got really excited about. I was like, what's going to happen at the end of the countdown?
If you guys enjoyed that, please let us know because it's something that we can do pretty easily. And we've got a new location, and we're swapped sides. Did we swap? Were we this way last week?
I think I tend to be on that side. I can't remember
Last week though,
Yeah.
I think we might have done it around the other way as well.
Wow, really getting tricky. Today we're at Meow's place, so this is a different environment today. And just, hey guys, hey Beck. Let's do our quick intros. If you don't know us, I'm Lushess. I'm a human. I'm trying to be a pop star in China. This is Meow.
I'm Cyborg, and I'm not trying to be a pop star in China, but I would love to go and check out the technology there. I'm a scientist, and I really, really love biology. So we got Meow-Crow-biology.
I love that. Was that made for you?
Oh, no, I got it for Christmas. My girlfriend gave it to me for Christmas.
Wow.
Amazing. It's like me in a shirt.
It was meant to be you, and
Yeah.
I'm Tom and Jerry. They're warring within me. They're my two warring spirits. So they also resemble me.
Are they?
Yeah.
So there's one manic and one chill.
Let's chill. I guess so.
Is that it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I
Yeah.
haven't watched that show in a really, really, really long time.
Yeah, my dad used to put this show on for me, and Looney Tunes.
Is it going to get censored?
Is it? What's
I don't know.
happening with
Everything
that?
because like Pepe Le Pew got censored, and all of the right wing men in America got upset because they're like, we should be able to have a skunk that's a bit rapey shown to kids. Yeah. So I was like,
Creepy.
oh, okay. Found that pretty funny.
But did anyone else watch Looney Tunes? I thought, I think there's some quality education in Looney Tunes, and you might end up, like us. Isn't that funny?
Is there a way for us to see how many people are on, by the way? Because I can't. Oh, here we go. I think that's it. There we go. We're trying a lot. Hey guys, not sure about your motivations. What's not going to do our time? You guys why did you both get inspired to explore
Wait,
science?
let's read that. We're going to
There you
read
go.
out comments better. That
Okay,
was too
okay.
much.
Sorry, I was reading for myself.
Now, they actually can't see that comment on the stream, can they?
This
Let's
comes up
check.
quicker.
Okay.
So.
See how sorry Tom,
Oh.
1 second, we're just working out some kinks. Because it looks like his comment is cut in half on the screen.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah,
I might have
let's
to
just
make
sort this out before we
I'm
get
just gonna
into
make
business.
this small. Let's hold it.
Oh, that's why. Yes.
That's why.
Okay. That's awesome. Tom, you signed on not last week, but the week before. Is that right?
I'm just gonna actually. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So I'm just going to read your comment again. Thank you for commenting. Hey guys, I'm not sure about your motivations. I know. What are our motivations, right? Evil, right? Global domination. But I'm the son of a great engineer of our time. That is really cool. I'm glad to hear it. Can you tell us a little bit about what engineering space he works in? But you guys are great on your own. Thank you so much. But why did you both get inspired to explore science? Now, yeah, I think that you're a good one to start on this topic. Why did you get excited to explore science yourself?
I watched Jurassic Park.
Oh, that was your inspiration.
That's it.
It ignited a flame within you.
I like many other small children, loved dinosaurs.
Yeah.
What is it about dinosaurs? Like, there's a few things, right? When you're a little kid, it's like dinosaurs, fire trucks, spaceships.
Okay. Yeah.
What else is there?
I feel like these are more boyish stuff.
Okay, so there's like
Generally.
princesses. Is that a thing? Like,
I don't want to say I was into princesses, but I was.
of course.
Like, I want to be like, no way. Like, that's so stereotypical. But I loved Sleeping Beauty. I love Disney.
Sleeping Beauty was my favorite Disney movie when I was a kid,
How come?
and then it became Beauty and the Beast. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
So we found those movies. So I want to be like, no, I was really into like worms and
But is it the dream that you
Lame.
want something?
a dream that you want something.
Like dinosaurs? Kids love them because they're these
Right.
big, ridiculous, gigantic things, and you don't kind of realize that you can't have them. So you're just like, oh, I love dinosaurs because they're so cool, right? It's like I haven't seen an elephant, and I also haven't seen a T-Rex. So maybe they're both as like unbelievable as each other, and then you're like,
Right.
oh, I went to the zoo, saw an elephant, but I'm never going to see a T-Rex, right?
Okay, I see
With a
that.
princess.
They're fantasy beasts that rule the land. That's pretty cool.
But with princesses, it's like you don't realize that you're not going to be a princess because you haven't been born in there. So you're like, maybe I can Princess Diana and like.
Right, because my mum was really like, she was trying not to show me those films, but I just wanted to watch them all the time, and I think I did want to be Sleeping Beauty. But that's lame. I mean, I've sort of become Sleeping Beauty.
I was about to say.
Because I sleep all the time. So have you become a dinosaur and I've become Sleeping Beauty?
I've become a genetic engineer.
Hey.
So,
You're working Jurassic Park.
That's
so,
it. I'm going to make a treatment for people who are fatigued, and I am going to deliver it via the saliva of a prince. I'm going to.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I'm going to go. How many
Oh my
princes?
God.
Harry's out.
Harry's out. He's not available
No,
anymore.
he's celebrity now, not royalty. He made the transition.
He made the transition.
He
out of
saw
royalty.
he saw the dying royal family and goes, "You guys have like one more season. That's it." And
The
you're
royal
cancelled.
family has one more season. I'm quoting that. That's great.
Kardashians, though, he saw they're only just beginning. So he's like, "I'll move to America, and then we'll start the royals."
Oh.
Because that's the narrative of what he did, right? He saw the royalties, colonialism. It's done.
Yeah.
He's like, but I see opportunity in the land of the free, in America. All your dreams can come true. And he married in Meghan Merkel. What's her name?
Now that you said that, I can't think of her name. Markle.
Markle.
I was thinking Angela Merkel.
Yeah.
She's a fusion of Meghan Markle.
But we've diverged far away from the original question. But basically, yes. Jurassic Park is what inspired me.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Tom. I'm a bit lame. I'm constantly inspired. I'm not a scientist. I'm not working in science, but it is my desire to spread science knowledge and interest. I read a lot on my own, and I figure a stream like this where we can bring everyone who's interested in science together can't be a bad thing. I wish that we put more of our attention and interest into science because it's the one thing that's going to improve our quality of life. It's it's going to help people who with disabilities, it's going to help people who are suffering from viruses. I think it's the thing that really drives Earth forward. So I think it's super important. Tom, with coming from this background with your dad being this great engineer, what keeps you inspired in science? And do I need to go open that door? I'm just going to do that.
I'm just going to, on that note as well, talk briefly about a documentary I watched called Better Left Unsaid, and I watched this with Tom Nash, and they said in there that this idea that as time goes on and we embrace science and this leads to a better quality of life, this was a philosophy called modernism. Modernism, and this was really popular during the world fairs and like 19th and early 20th century, and about halfway through the 20th century, 1950s, that was when postmodernism came in.
Okay.
And that's kind of like this documentary basically made the argument that modernism was fantastic. Technology leads to a better life.
Yeah. Rationalism
and evidence and progress makes the world a better place. And then postmodernism came in and stuffed everything up. That was their argument of this, right?
How did postmodernism stuff it up?
It stuffed it up for the left and the right, which was kind of interesting, right? And what it said was that from my understanding from the documentary, it was that like you can never really be sure about anything, right? Even about modernism, and that created this doubt, which made people question everything, and it basically led to what is now called critical theory, and this is like being confused about gender, being confused about whether science is actually good, so a lot of people are talking about, this is one thing that was like quite confronting for me, is about colonialism in science, right? The colonization of science by white thought. And it's kind of interesting because science is true whether you believe it or not, right? So can you actually colonize science? Say, for example, gravity. Well, if I use white thought to be like, okay, an apple fell on my head and I'm a white man, and then I come up with a theory, a lot of people from from this critical school of thought are saying, well, that's white gravity, basically.
Because it comes from a white male?
Because it comes from a white male. It comes from Western thought.
Yeah.
But black people, or indigenous people, or traditional custodians of the land, they might come up with different types of science. But with science, it's the one kind of area where you can objectively measure it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they're saying the act of objectively measuring it causes problems because it's a form of colonialism to have that way of thinking. My perspective is batshit insane, right?
It sounds a little bit like we're overanalyzing things, but
Definitely, that's what I think.
But I won't discount it as well.
I've read a lot about colonizing science, and I can see that there's different people that traditionally have had, what's the word am I thinking? People may have come up with information and knowledge in different ways before West brought science to them as a way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, Aboriginal astronomers in Australia.
Yeah.
And their knowledge is very valuable, very interesting. Stonehenge and stuff was great, but the thing is, it's not. They didn't arrive at different conclusions than us generally, and the conclusions, if they reached them, that are objectively correct, like scientific ones, it doesn't really matter how you got there once you get to the end. You can kind of be like, okay, here's something we can test and measure.
Yeah.
And that's what, anyway.
Yeah. There's this great thing that Ricky Gervais, do you love Ricky Gervais? I love
him.
Ricky Gervais.
Absolutely love him.
Legend, God. Low-level God. So he says this great thing about religion and science. Our comments are not updating.
Our comments are not updating. Hold on,
but
I'm just going to...
you update that while I say this. I wanted to say, so Ricky Gervais says, if the world were to start over again, new religious texts would jump up. They wouldn't be the same as what's in the Bible. However, science would remain the same. We'd come to the same scientific realizations over time. So science won't change, but religion will, and I think that's really interesting. So, okay, let's catch up on some stories.
Okay, we're just going to quickly jump through this now that the comments are actually coming through.
Yeah.
Twitch didn't see my greeting pop up on your... Didn't see my greeting pop up on your tweets. Oh, so Twitch might not be connected today.
Oh, no.
No, it is. No, there we go. Yeah. So it did come through. We just hadn't updated it on the screen. There we go. We've been doing slightly better with technology this week, but not quite perfectly.
So we have a mic now. I'm just going to pick that up. So your mic gain is super low if that's fixable. Thanks, Nathan.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We can fix that.
He's on it. It's just facing towards me.
We can't. We can't actually. That's maximum. Okay, let's see if we can boost it. Not volume. Let's try stick. Is that better? Can you hear us?
Yeah, if you put it right next to us.
What we're trying to do is avoid that sound, and we're gonna do a fundraiser to get some equipment for this at some point, if anyone's keen.
That sounds good.
Ghostbusters. Okay, Beck. That's my sister.
Oh yeah. Hey, Beck. Yeah.
Hey, ladies and gents, I was on Twitch. Postmodernism denies objective reality.
So Nathan says, postmodernism, I had to put the in it. Postmodernism denies objective reality and thus is very anti-science. Most hilarious one is the denial of biological sex.
Which is interesting. Okay, we can hear you. Okay.
All right.
That's good. I'll leave this up. Okay, so one of the things... That is another interesting one as well, because sometimes I lecture, right? I lecture at... Hold on, I'm going to slide across so I'm in frame. I lecture at university, and sometimes we'll talk about biological sex, especially when we're talking about, I was talking about breeding mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. And when I said males have these chromosomes and females have these chromosomes, some kids in the audience are like, oh, you can't assume the mosquito's gender.
Right.
Actually, interesting.
Oh, how does that work when it comes to animals? Yeah. How do we address what terms are we using when it comes to animals?
Well, maybe there is objective sex, but I think about it like when the best way I've heard gender explained from a biological perspective.
So we're getting a message from we're at Meow's place. Someone's giving us a message, but it might be a secret, so I don't know. Wait, would you like to share?
Do you want to share your snippet?
Would you like to come in?
Please. We're going to guess celebrity.
Hello, everybody. I don't know who is here. If a female, I only heard a bit as I was trying to sneak past to get some water, but I fell into the harp. But if a mosquito bites you, it's female.
Okay. And I don't think there are transgender mosquitoes.
Goodbye.
Okay. So there is like, I think we generally in nature see a bimodal distribution. So there's most males fit into one.
What's bimodal?
So bimodal looks like this. Hold on, you grab this for a second. Oh, actually, we're at my place. I'm just going to grab something super quickly, which is
All
a
right.
whiteboard.
And just jumping and checking comments, is our sound a little bit better? We started a little bit early this week, 7:30. We sort of got our shit together a little bit earlier. So every week we get like 10% better until hopefully we're 1,000% effectiveness. So, okay. So Stephen says partly tangentially to white science or critical race studies, check out the documentary Coded Bias on Netflix, which looks at how technology can be racist because of the people who worked on it. And guys, I think as well, it's okay for us to offer our views on this, but we should also be asking non-white people their thoughts.
Definitely. Now, also, when we're speaking about how technology can be racist, we actually see this really commonly.
Yeah.
So, who makes technology as a rule? If we're just going to say, describe your average tech person.
Right. It's this white guy in a lab coat. No, I was thinking scientist, but
Who makes
tech.
apps?
Who makes apps? Oh,
Yeah.
like, so geeky dude.
Yeah.
Sorry, talking to all the coders. I know there are lots
geeky
of
white dudes, right?
A geeky dude. Bad posture.
That's it.
Haven't seen the light in years.
And they're all white middle-aged men. So what happens is we end up getting like, AI, machine learning to do like, recognize a smile. And they're like, well, okay, we'll just get to take photos of us. And then they try it on someone of a different race and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or they'll train all of the AIs on like, chat logs between two guys. And what ends up happening is the tech ends up being racist because they haven't thought about diversity when they were designing.
Right, they don't have design flaws. So I have a funny story before you jump into that.
Yeah.
So when I was living in China, the obviously the AI and facial recognition system is obviously used to Asian faces, so Chinese faces. And I had a friend there, she's Austrian, and she was driving on the wrong side of the road or maybe too fast on her electric scooter because motorbikes are illegal there. They've all gone, all scooters have to be electric. So
Motorbikes are illegal.
Yeah. So all scooters have to be electric. It's really cool. Yeah,
What?
yeah. It's amazing. So
In the whole
everyone's
of
zipping
China?
around the streets. Certainly in Shanghai. I think, I'm not sure around the whole of China, but certainly in Shanghai.
That's amazing.
Yeah. This is honestly, Chinese government was like, okay, guys, next month, all scooters have to be electric. We're going to, reduce pollution that way. And everyone fell into line and was like, okay. And my friend had an electric scooter and we just drove around the city. It was amazing. So I think that's really cool. But when I was there, she got pulled over by a Chinese policeman and he was, he sort of said, I need to give you a fine because you were, driving on the wrong side. And so basically he used the AI that all the police carry and put it on her, up to her face and scanned her face. And it came up with a totally different European woman.
Really?
And she's a bit cheeky and she just was laughing. And I think the policeman was a bit like, it's not you, what do I do?
All you white people look the same.
And she was just laughing and saying, it's not me. But her partner was ABC, American-born Chinese. So instead
American-born Chinese.
Yeah, the policeman just scanned her partner instead and then it found him really quickly. So he got the fine for her.
Wow.
But it's just interesting on the line of, AI, being, getting trained towards certain faces. And that's certainly what happens. And that's funny to me because I think she has a really distinctive face. She looks like a Victoria's Secret model. And Austrian and just sort of like dark hair, like giant green eyes. I think her face is super different and recognizable and would be to maybe Western AI systems. Anyway.
But it's interesting that you can build this bias in, and the bias creeps in even if you, it's there unless you explicitly design away from it, right?
Okay.
So no matter who you are programming this AI, you have to decide from the beginning, I'm going to make a non-biased AI because any other AI will be biased. Just because of your own natural biases.
Because our natural biases.
You actually have to design the bias out.
So let's go. I think from the bottom upwards
Okay.
is how we have to go, right? So but we're just jumping back into comments.
I'm just gonna. Can I scroll?
How many people here are coders? How many people have I offended?
I can't actually scroll. How should I scroll here? I'm just gonna scroll here. We can hear music.
All right. I did a coding class once, but I left halfway through because they were moving too slowly. And
Oh, really? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly read from here. Moving too slowly, it does, yeah.
I was like, come on, let's go do it. Because they kept talking about the theory of coding, and I was like, I just want to learn coding. And it was coding for women, and it was General Assembly, and it was this free class. But the first hour was just about how women should code, and I was like, yeah, we should, but let's. And I left after the hour and a half, like they had a recess, and I was like, we haven't even started coding yet, so I left.
Hello world. First 10 seconds. If you aren't saying hello world, you're out.
Oh, dear.
Thank you for asking the question. I feel a bit like I can't measure up to my dad's great achievements, but Neil deGrasse Tyson said, be ashamed to die until you have scored some victory for humanity. But I also don't like his role in
relegating Pluto from planets. I have mixed feelings. That's funny, Tom. So do you believe that Neil deGrasse Tyson quote applies to everybody? Should every human be ashamed to die until you've scored some victory for humanity? Because that really places everyone in this sort of innovative, leadership role having to change humanity. Or can some people just, take lesser roles where they enjoy their lives, they don't really contribute to humanity, perhaps they keep processes going? What rights do we as humans have? What do you think?
On this note, this documentary I watched, it's an Australian documentary. I'll put a link in at the end. It's called Better Left Unsaid. Things Better Left Unsaid. Something like this. In fact, I might even stick it in now. It basically said that some inequality is actually good. So it's saying that basically what it says is that whenever a country tries to go like completely socialist or completely communist, then it falls down. And it made an explicit point not to list how many people died, but instead listed the failures in government. So it talked about China killing landlords, that it had huge problems for a long, long time. It talked about Venezuela falling. It talked about Soviet Russia falling. And basically, and then all of like, the outbreak of communism during the 50s to 70s, so, Vietnam, Cambodia, But it said a small amount of inequality is actually good. And it pushed for kind of a centric mindset. Now, one of the things that it said was that some inequality actually allows people who want to succeed to excess. It gives them the ability to do that socialism or communism can take away. Now, in China, we've actually seen this, right? When they had normal communism, the country kind of it was going okay, but it wasn't center of the world. But then when they're like, you know what? We'll let there be a few billionaires. You get Jack Ma kind of rise up and stuff like that. That's when you see China really dominate on the world stage, which is a lot of kind of equity. But if you want to, you can succeed and you can create some inequality. So, you can't cut down the tallest of the tall, without lifting up the bottom. So if we look at a country like America, they just inequality. They love, the whole country is basically built on inequality. But then you have countries like Australia, you have countries like China, which are welfare states. So you have socialized healthcare, you have security nets. So if people fall through the cracks, they're going to get looked after. But if you want to work really, really hard and grow your business, you kind of can, and you'll reap some benefits from that. And I think that is this really moderate center thing that we'll see emerge as a better place for everyone to be, which is a little bit of authoritarianism. China does that really well. They can come in and say, well, what's the saying that you always say?
Hen fang bien.
Hen fang bien. Incredibly
convenient.
Convenient, right? Because the government's just yeah, you know what? How about we put a little bit of authoritarianism, right? So maybe we're going to put some speed signs in. Maybe we're going to take away everyone's guns. Things that wouldn't fly in America, right? But, you're going to get some benefit. And instead of having to be extreme left, if you use the wrong pronouns, we're going to execute you. Or extreme right, if you're not white, we're going to kill you. Basically, what about if we have this happy in the middle thing where we have some conversation and we work out what's best? And everyone hates it. Nobody likes a centrist. I'm I'm a centrist. And everyone's you stand for nothing. I'm I stand for a reason.
I stand for nothing.
Yeah, they think that. You get slammed if you say you're a centrist. If you say, I think we should just listen to both sides, they're so you're basically Hitler.
I guess, yeah, when you say centrist, it does sort of feel you stand for neither side, so you stand for nothing. Whereas really, I guess you stand for neither. What?
Good outcome. Compromise. And they're well, they say, okay, well, fuck, that means that the right want to kill everyone that's not white, and the left want to save everyone. So if you're a centrist, you say we kill some black people. And you're like, no, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think generally most people are centrist without realizing it.
Definitely. The political parties will naturally tend towards that, right? Because it's going to offend the least people, and that's how you kind of get that medium. Also, we talked about a bimodal distribution before.
Yeah.
That is a bimodal distribution. So basically you have like...
Between mosquitoes, yeah?
Or any sexes, you'll have... Any sex in biology, you have this. There's like... You have male and you have female, and then you have these areas in the middle and ends, but mainly the middle, that's what we're looking at, which is things between. But you have these two, the main thing is you have these two distinct peaks, right? That's how we think about it, because there's major chromosomal abnormalities, and you know, in humans, biological sex and gender might get changed and stuff like that. But basically, you know, 95% of people are going to fit into those two peaks, and there's going to be 5% of animals or people that are going to be somewhere between. And that's why it's like, yeah, biologically there are two genders, but there's also more in the middle. Like, there's no question about whether that transness or intersex exists. But, you know, there's also two distinct peaks that you have to also be aware of. That's how I think about it as a biologist.
So bimodal is just like the current theory within what?
I'd say in genetics. And from a biologist perspective, you'd say bimodal distribution, though. It implies that between... What the fuck? I just read this last post, but we're just going to quickly catch up.
Okay, yeah, wait. What did you read?
So we're going down. Postmodernism, we've got that. Gain is low.
No, up. We must go up.
No, it's down. It's up here, down here.
No, but we read all those. No, we didn't. Wait. I want to go to the comment. Wait, go down a little bit. Look, want to become famous? Buy followers, primes, and viewers.
Get our fundraiser happening.
I love like bots and.
Okay, so there's a question about postmodernism. We'll get back to that. Tangentially to white science or critical race studies, check out the docu-coded bias on Netflix.
I read that one.
Okay, yeah, so this is interesting. One thing we don't talk about as well is a lot of geneticists, there's taboo areas of science. We touched on this before, that we just don't study, which is like the genetics of intelligence.
Like which genes mean you're intelligent.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, well, hold on, there's emotional intelligence,
right.
There's academic intelligence. Yeah.
There's exactly right. And the thing is that if we miss out, if we work this out, we can actually genetically discriminate against people, because we're like, oh, this is a university job. Only people with this gene can apply, because otherwise you're actually like lower in ability or something like that. So I mean, extreme of that we've seen in
creative
the movie.
Intelligence.
That's it. Gattaca went to the nth degree.
I love Gattaca.
The way that they did the discrimination was interesting. They didn't stop you from applying.
Yeah.
You applied, and when he applied with the,
so Gattaca is a sci-fi film where basically people are allowed to genetically modify their children. And only the most highly sort of genetically modified for, advanced, human performance can go and travel to the moon. But who's the actor in it?
Jude Law?
No, the other one. The main... Ethan Hawke. He is, he has not been genetically modified, but his brother was. And his dream is to go to the moon. And there's this beautiful scene that's throughout it. So he ends up stealing other people's DNA, Jude Law's DNA.
Not stealing, he
rents it so that he can join the space program and go to the moon.
Now, Jude Law as well, he had a broken back and he was an Olympian, and his life was effectively over. Yeah. But he could still pass on his DNA to someone who wanted to, like, rent it, right?
Yeah, totally. And there's this just beautiful scene that I really loved where basically Ethan Hawke and his brother, so his brother's been genetically modified before he was born, and he hasn't. They have this competition where they both swim out as far as they can in the ocean. And of course, the genetically modified brother always seems to win or something. Or maybe they tie each time. But the point is, there's a point of the movie where the brother says to Ethan Hawke, how do you do it? How do you manage to swim so far out every time when, I'm clearly superior to you? My muscles are better.
How can you beat me?
How can you possibly beat me? And Ethan Hawke says, I don't plan on swimming back. I just swim as far as I can. But then it's revealed as he's swimming back, and I think he's
There's a
holding
heart to
his
your face.
brother. He's on his back, and he's looking up at the moon, which is his ultimate goal and dream, and that's motivating him the whole time. And it's beautiful. I
It's
love
so
that
good.
scene.
One of my favorite movies. Also, there's a really interesting scene where in his house, he's got a 2-story house, which is interesting because Jude Law is in a wheelchair. But it's a spiral staircase that leads up, which is very like reminiscent of DNA.
Oh, DNA, of course.
Right?
Symbolism.
Yeah, boo. So
love
what happens
it.
is Jude Law in one scene is crawling up the helix, and that's very much like him overcoming his genetic, climbing through his genetic, limitations and problems. He's like struggling to crawl through it. Very, very symbolic, beautifully shot movie.
Yeah.
The scrubbing off the skin cells scene. I remember this to clean himself. He has to every night.
Every night he has to get rid of his dead skin
Get
cells
rid of
in
his
case they
hair.
find them in his like laptop or something. Great movie.
Now, hair actually has no DNA, which is a flaw in that movie. But if you pluck it, at the base, sometimes there's a bit of skin which has some cells.
Oh.
But the hair itself, there's no DNA, it's protein.
Okay.
And
right.
blood has no DNA either.
What? Really?
Blood cells don't have a nucleus. Think about a red blood cell looks kind of like a donut, like a pool noodly kind of a pool donut. But the last time it divides and this becomes the red blood cell, this one, the stem cell, keeps the DNA. Now in chickens and reptiles, it's not.
Okay.
Their DNA, their blood cells has a nucleus. Ours doesn't.
So, but when you're grabbing, so you're like, I need to get this person's DNA. And so you just sneak a vial of their blood, or no, just maybe a drop of their blood. You prick them. But wouldn't that blood have white blood cells in there?
White blood cells do.
So
Correct.
even if you just got that drop of blood, you're going to have some DNA.
Not necessarily.
Not
Do you
necessarily.
know how rare white blood cells are rare?
Are they rare?
Yeah, well, if you don't have an infection, in 30 mils of blood, you might have one
This is interesting.
white blood cell, I think.
In 30 mils of blood, you might have one white
really
blood cell.
unusual.
Did you know this? I sort of thought they were both everywhere. Like,
From my
everywhere.
understanding, they're not frequent unless you've been sick or your immune system's been challenged, which happens quite a lot. Once your immune system gets challenged, you get flooded with them. A lot of the COVID tests look for white blood cells. That's how they see whether your immune system has been
Oh, of
challenged.
course. That's so interesting.
Okay, we're going to catch up with...
Okay, yeah, sorry.
It's okay. In Indian Asian tech, we covered
What about
that.
Indian Asian tech guys? I see them everywhere as encoders. Ha ha ha.
Yeah. Want to become famous? Yes, slowly.
This guy
I
catalogs
catalogues
all
all
the
the
insanity on the topics.
Doing Master of AI, Tom. I'm doing a Master of AI now. One of the funny problems was the AI
Distinguish
distinguished.
wolves from dogs by the snow in the background. So are you saying that so
Every time they show them a photo of a wolf,
a dog in the snow, it says it's a wolf?
The wolf. Yeah, if you put a dog in snow, it would say wolf.
Yeah.
Because when the thing, it's a black box technology, right? What we do is we give a computer a whole heap of data, and we say this is X, and we give it a whole heap of other data, and we say this is Y.
Yeah.
And then it tries and works out through generations what is what.
Right.
But it could be that you have a green cup in the back of all the dog photos, and then it goes, oh, the green cup is the dog, right?
Tom, that's funny.
And I've heard about ones where there's like certain pixel artifacts, like they were taken on a certain camera phone that had like a green pixel on the dead pixel on the sensor. And since all the photos were taken with that, you couldn't tell it was there, but the computer worked out every time there was a green pixel in the middle of the thing, it was this data set.
Oh, wow.
So you got to be really careful with it.
Wait, I saw this on Reddit the other night. How do you, like, a way to tell if a face, like a human face, like whether we are generated by a computer, whether we're just AI people, is to look at the teeth and how many teeth there are.
Really?
Yes. So if you want to know if we're AI, you can look at our teeth.
Oh shit, I'm missing one. Does that mean I'm AI?
Do you missing one?
No, it's just I forgot.
Maybe just a gut. Okay, so we're not AI. Oh, well.
Not yet.
Not
Okay.
yet.
So Stephen says, that's interesting. White blood cells varies, but normally in the range of between 4,000 and 11,000 per microliter of blood. Now, I've heard this, but experimentally in the lab, it doesn't check out. So we try and take a drop of blood and amplify from their DNA, and we often can't do it because there's not enough white blood cells. But normally, if there's more than 50 copies per microliter, we can amplify DNA from blood. So I'm going to experimentally test this.
Okay. Yeah, so the too many numbers now, I'm losing in the...
Okay.
Wait, hold on. My brother said this to me the other day. He said, I'm not that good at liquid math.
Liquid math.
That's like milliliters.
Oh, yeah?
Liters. And he just meant like, because he didn't know how many milliliters were in a liter.
Yeah.
And he's like, sorry, I'm not that good at liquid math. I love that line.
Is he good at solid math? Because if he is, he should do American math. Because it's all the same. They use fluid ounces. It's like, how many liquid grams do you have, Lucy? Liquid
how
kilos.
many? Yeah.
Was
What?
it liquid kilos?
I don't know.
That's what he needs. He needs to
I
drop
don't know. Liquid
in-
math.
in liquid math.
So you've lost me on the liquid blood, the math.
A microliter? So what a milliliter is to a liter is what a microliter is to a mil.
Oh, so
So it's
thousands.
1,000th. Yeah. And I only work in microliters.
Okay, getting
People
up on our blood math right here.
If people start talking mils, I'm like, settle down. I can't deal with that much liquid math. You're doing my head in.
I can't get over the liquid math. Wait, what else is there? So the solid math is liquid math.
Gas math.
Gaseous math.
And then plasma math. Plasma math is the fourth state of mather.
Of math.
Mather.
Is that a matter? Having too much fun with this math.
We have so many comments. We're struggling to keep up this week.
Oh, you guys.
Okay, Stephen Morello.
Laughing at our own jokes too much. Okay.
It's come right in. This was from ages before too. This is from like 12 minutes ago.
Oh, sorry.
Please read out this comment by Stephen.
In Kathy O'Neill's book, Weapons of Math Destruction, she talks about how education systems might be set up to punish schools that have more kids from poor districts. I've heard about that too.
So, it's interesting when we see countries like Sweden. Everyone loves Sweden. It's this like this this country that is progressive left. They got rid of standardized testing for school students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they got rid of homework. No, I'm thinking of Finland. They've got
Maybe
rid of
it's
homework.
all the same, isn't it? Like all those trendy countries, blonde hair, beautiful people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably you go to a hospital and they give you like $1,000.
Yeah.
So say sorry for being sick.
So yeah, the standardized test.
So I got rid of standardized testing. I think it's really interesting because maybe you deliver a better quality of education. A lot of teachers say this if they're not being tested in a standardized fashion, and maybe with poorer districts, this testing is actually set up to punish those people, which people in charge love because they can give those schools less money because they perform worse, which is the opposite logic to what you'd think.
Right.
Oh, this school's doing worse, maybe they need more money. Doesn't seem to be the way. Like in Australia, we have private schools get funding by the government, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Because they
totally
need it the least. Yeah.
Nathan says, random topic idea, cryonics. Just came across a Reddit thread that suggests it's common for men to sign up in secret because their wives are against it. Is this cryotherapy?
Cryonics? No, this is when you die.
Yeah, cryotherapy. Cryogen.
Yeah, but there's also cryotherapy for weight loss. Have you seen this?
Oh, yeah.
They freeze the fat cells.
Oh, right. So what's it called when they freeze you when you die?
Cryonics.
Cryonics. Okay.
Cryotherapy, though, I think is what they one of my ex-girlfriends, she used to go and they pinch the fat and then they freeze it with liquid nitrogen.
Yes, I've seen that. Yeah, cryo. So the
common for men to sign up in secret because their wives are against it. That seems like a blackmail situation.
So why are the wives against it? I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna wait for Nathan to reply to that. Rise of the Racist Robots. That's Link. I'm a Python coder. I actually have decided after reading some of Nathan Waters' comments that I am going to start learning React and Svelte. I'm going to practice an hour and a half a day.
How come? Why?
Because it's a life hack. So Nathan talked about the fact that we don't always share our life hacks, but there are a lot of life hacks that are awesome that should be shared. So he listed a few, and he was talking about like ways to save on rent is you can rent a van, and there's these are the apps you use to find out whereabouts. You can get public showers and stuff like this. But he also said like for work, this is the way to like escape the grind. So he's like, this is the rat race. The rat race. He's like, this is how to earn a stupidly large amount of money, and these are the steps you need to take to do it. And I think in my spare time, I'm going to do it because it suits my lifestyle, and it moves me towards a kind of universal basic income. It means that I can offset, basically build some assets that then work for me, so I don't have to do work if I don't want to.
Okay. So what are you going to use this code? React coding, React and which one?
Yeah,
React and
React
Svelte?
and Svelte.
Svelte. So what are you going to use these coding
So they're
skills
JavaScript
for?
languages, and they're basically a front-end, back-end languages that you use to build websites and web apps.
So, but do you want to build websites and web apps?
No, I want to get people to pay me to do that in my spare time.
Okay, right. Right. So you want, but don't you have other sort of job interests that will that pay like? Because I think it's about finding your niche, right? It's really finding your niche.
I think we should decouple it.
Yeah.
So you have your niche, which is for fun, and then you have the thing that makes you money.
But don't you get paid more for a niche because you're in demand?
You'd think so. Do you know how much artists make?
This is true. No, as an artist, we make no money. No.
So and scientists don't make any money.
Yes.
Like a senior lecturer at uni.
Okay, I see.
70 to 90K.
But if your skill's really in demand and the company needs you, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. So you're gonna see. Really, you're gonna be a coder. You're gonna make web apps.
Yeah. Yeah, my spare time.
Let's see.
For other people, but the reason is you can make $500 to $700 a day.
Yeah.
Which means I could work like 2 days a week at this, earn more than easily than I make in my job.
Okay.
And then dedicate all my time to that without having to worry about costing my company money.
Okay.
Because that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I have shares and stuff in that. So.
Fair. Cool.
Yeah. So
a good idea.
we should do a life hacks episode. I'd love to go through. Do you have a life hack?
I've got some life hacks that I could share.
Top 3 life hacks.
I just need to remember them. Guys, I need to think about it.
I had some really bad.
They'll come to me like as soon as we're finished.
I had a really bad life hack.
Yeah.
I had this hack where
Share your life hacks.
I would park in places, and instead of paying for parking, I had a little ticket that I got fined once.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, I'll just put the ticket underneath my windscreen wiper, and they'll think they've already got me.
Right. Is it working?
One time I came back and there was 2 tickets in there.
My life hack is to clean immediately a space once you've used it.
Oh really?
And then you're free. You have no longer commitments to do that later.
Nathan Waters said this: it's good to get up at the same time every day and go for a run.
Oh. That's a life hack for some.
Yeah.
And not for others. All right, coding for women. Damn, I got a story like that too. I was learning video game programming at TAFE when I was 17. It was the same year they switched from C++ to C#.
C#.
Oh, okay. A lot of the homework we were given was outdated and useless. Also had many spelling errors. I made a program that just made beep sounds eternally out of boredom. Emily, I have a friend who's a coder for, I think it's for Optus or something, their innovation program. And I watched a webinar that he did, and he said he was like, I was the best at this one language. I was like one of the best in the world. And then the developer who created this code was just like, okay, I'm not going to update it anymore. It's cancelled. And he's like, it's like I was fluent in French, and then suddenly I had to start from the beginning again.
Fluent in Latin.
Yeah, it was like it was written in Latin.
No one cares.
That's wild. So I think once you know the sort of basics of coding, you've just got to be able to jump around between them, right? Okay.
The documentary that Stephen put in there, Better Left Unsaid, is it?
Cool.
Director, yes. So the producer is Dash. Now Dash is a friend of Tom Nash's, and Tom Nash interviewed me for his channel. Okay. And Dash was interviewed at the same time, at the same day. Yeah. So that's our connection. So it's quite interesting. I don't know whether I completely. It wrapped up a bit weird at the end of this documentary. I highly recommend watching it. If anyone wants to watch it and we can talk about it next week, that'd be cool. I'll send it to you too.
What's the overall topic?
The extreme left and the extreme right of politics, but it compares them both at the same time that you generally don't see. Generally, you see a lot of documentaries are criticizing the extreme right, but very few criticize the extreme left, and this shows how they're both so similar. Right. Which is interesting. It's called the horseshoe theory of politics. So the extreme left and the extreme right have more to do with each other than they do about the left or the right, which is they're extremists. Wow. Okay. And it shows how they're both basically the same. But a lot of lefties are like, no, I'm nothing like the right. And the right's like, I'm nothing like those stupid snowflake lefts. But they're both snowflakes in a very specific way. And they both, at the moment, are calling for violence. And we see this in some of the protests that are happening with the extreme left overseas and the extreme right. We see the Black Lives Matters protests getting very violent, but we also see people marching with their torches, against black people. And basically the calls for violence is the extremism.
I feel like violence is, I really do feel like it's far more present in the right though. Like they're the ones who advocate for guns and things like
Yeah.
that. I feel like the left is
Yeah.
less
And
violent.
violence on either side, in the extreme left or the extreme right, causes it in the other one. Because the extreme left go, we have to be violent to retaliate against the extreme
Perhaps, yeah,
right.
perhaps.
And this documentary goes into that quite a lot. It's saying maybe the left and the right extremists cause each other.
Right.
Right?
Okay.
And if they're like, oh, the war on Christmas, if you say that enough, people actually end up going to war on Christmas. You know what I mean? Like, this is what it's
What
starts to
on
say.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tom says, interestingly, there are no mosquitoes in Iceland. Is it true?
I'm gonna double check this.
And there are no real mosquitoes in New
That's-
Zealand, right?
And no snakes in New Zealand, and no snakes in Ireland.
It's great because, you know, in Australia, you're walking around, well, no, it's not great, but, you know, mosquitoes everywhere, and going through it, like, you know, the forest at night. Whereas I remember doing forest walks in New Zealand at night, and it's like, why aren't things attacking me? That's awesome. Okay, Gattaca. What do you think the second and third most intelligent animals are after humans?
Nah, it depends. That is interesting because what are we saying? When we're saying intelligent, as you said, there's many different types of intelligence, right? And generally we associate like bigger brains with more intelligence.
I'm really curious to know, like, so I think of intelligence in terms of academic intelligence, sort of, emotional intelligence, creative intelligence. What are some others I'm not thinking of?
Well, social is kind of emotional,
yeah.
but there's actually a social intelligence. Like you can know a lot about yourself without being able to know and like perform well in a group, right?
Right. Like, and I'm thinking like introspective intelligence
And then
as
there's,
well.
like extroverted emotional intelligence would be a social intelligence, right?
Right. Yeah.
They've got creativity, as you said before, and then creativity. There's many different types. Like you might have like form with words, or you might have form with pictures, or music, and they can actually be quite different and different in how how hard or how soft they are. Like, for example, poetry is quite academic. You need to be literate. You need to have good vocabulary.
I agree.
But, you know, painting, you could be completely illiterate as long as you understand color. But they're both different types of intelligence, and one's softer. Color would be softer, right?
Okay,
Requires less
that's
thinking.
cool.
Yeah.
What do you think what your strongest types of intelligence are that serve you?
Knowing when to put the jug on. That's I always get it right. What about yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm okay at emotional intelligence. I am sort of good at being, this sounds funny, but like I'm pretty chill. Like I'm good at sort of finding it, like I don't think I generally annoy people, or like I'm just sort of.
I'm going to ask your family. How would you rate Lucy on a scale of 1 to 10 in annoyingness?
Well, they have to live with me, and yeah, for sure. I think I've always been a bit of a moderator. Anyway, so I think. Yeah, definitely been a peacemaker. So I think maybe my
Were you
emotional
always a peacemaker growing up?
I think so.
I think I'm a peacemaker too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We make peace. Whereas I am also very creatively inclined. So
And you're good with language as well.
yeah, maybe.
You
I
speak
don't know.
2 languages, so you're
Maybe.
better than me, barely speaking 1.
Maybe. Well, yeah. Oh no, you're speaking sign language. So
Awesome.
yeah. And I just say that because when my mind is resting, my mind is right. Like when I before I go to sleep, like when I wake up, when I'm not doing anything, I'm like thinking of story ideas, and that just happens very naturally. And I just think that's more of a creative. Just like fantasy stories, sci-fi stories,
Sci-fi
just like
stories?
just short stories. And I'm just like, and then when I write music, it's very it's easy. It's like I go into flow state, and I'm like. Huh, it's like I don't even have to think. It's incredibly easy. So it's like
Stephen writes a lot of music too, actually.
I switch my brain off, and I don't really look at it very analytically. It's very intuitive, and I feel like that's a type of intelligence.
Definitely.
Okay.
I think there's that everyone has kind of a base level of like intelligence. That like everyone kind of has the same potential for intelligence. Some people find some things easier, some people find other things easier. So a lot of people who are drawn to the trades might find physical stuff makes more sense. They've got better spatial reasoning and stuff.
Yeah.
People who are drawn to maths are more analytical by nature.
Liquid
right?
math, yeah. Yeah.
But I think the thing that actually separates people across a long period of time is what they put their skill points into every time they level
Skill
up.
points, for real. Yeah. What are you putting your skill points into?
I reckon everyone on our channel
Yeah.
puts at least 2 skill points into technology and 1 into music.
Really?
reckon?
All these musicians.
Okay.
All right.
And Trent, I'm going to get to your question in just a sec. We're just going through and catching up. The hair skin sheath, that's correct. Julian Bashir from Star Trek is also a genetically modified person, which gives him extremely high intelligence and fine motor control, which is useful for surgery. Now, he also got discriminated against. But Julian Bashir...
Okay.
I'm going to have to give you a diet of Star Trek.
Oh, I'm keen. I'm actually really keen.
In DS9, he's genetically modified, but genetically modified people were made illegal, and he slipped through the cracks. His parents hid him away. But he's so much of a genius, it was very difficult for them to do it.
Oh, okay.
But the reason was that when they were playing with the genes for intelligence, they made a lot of people who weren't quite right. So maybe they have they were... Imagine taking a pie out of the oven when it's 70% cooked. That's how these people came out. So they're very, very intelligent or very tasty, but...
Physically they're not...
Physically,
they're
they were all kind... One of them was kind of overweight, but mentally...
But intelligence is hot.
Intelligence is hot. Okay. How many white blood cells someone has? We've been through this.
Yeah.
Meow's part Borg. I try. Our teeth look fantastic. I think he's speaking about you there. What do you use the microchips for? Okay, if that person's still here.
Ray, sorry, we've been ranting.
At the moment, my microchips. What do we have?
Over here, just send us a quick hello.
Have we done my microchips? So I've got
We have never done your microchips.
Okay, let's have a look.
What are you doing? What's he doing with the phone? Even I don't know.
This one's a little bit tricky.
Hold on.
This one's got, it's like a grain of rice.
Oh, hold on.
Really
Is this fit here?
Here.
Oh, okay. I'm just going to point that at the screen. I think
hard-
it's a
it's hard
little
to
bit
see.
hard to see. So, where my finger is like pointing here, there's a little squishy like a little bit of rice. It's sort of hard to see in the light.
Yeah, it's really, you can have a look at videos online if you want to find it. I was going to
What are you doing with the phone? Oh, you're tapping.
try and get it. There you go.
So it just opened.
It links to...
It links? It's your business card.
It's my simp chip.
What's a simp
It's
chip?
got my girlfriend. There you go. Yeah. Super cute. And then I've got this one.
Wait, so it just links to this
Yeah.
girl's profile?
This one says, Claire is cool. It's my sign language teacher. She was like asking how they work. Normally my business card's on there, but I don't really
This is
need a
wow.
business
Like,
card.
imagine having 3 microchips in your hand and they can link to whatever you want them to. And this is what it uses.
Yeah, that's it. And this one's just my Opal card. So
Okay.
There you go. Now, So
wait, pause. One was to your Opal card.
Yep.
The other one was just as it just to your
Whatever I
sign
want.
language teacher's
Claire is cool.
Claire is Cool website.
No, just a text.
Just a text.
Yeah.
Okay, and what was the other one? It was
that one is...
it was like an Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Girlfriend's Instagram. You know what I could put on there though? Could put a fucking NFT on there.
Yeah, you could. Why
There
don't
you
you
go,
do that?
Oh, my ship links to Rickroll. That is very, very astute. So I convinced a guy at a conference, at a cyborg conference, to get a microchip. And
Yeah.
I said, what type of a journalist are you? You come here and you're not even going to get a microchip. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, what do I put on there? So put a link to this little kid screaming because he stole a cup from a restaurant. And his mum's like, I'm calling the police. I'm taking you back to the restaurant. The kid's just like, no, Mom!
He linked to a funny video. This is so human of us.
Right locked it. You can never change it. It's stuck there forever.
Oh no,
on
wait.
that video.
Can you not change yours?
I can. He right locked. He's like, nah, right lock it. That's the joke. So there it is forever. And he's so
It's like a tattoo.
much fun. It's like a tattoo.
To a video.
There you go. I'd never thought about it like a tattoo. Yeah, it is.
Okay, I have thoughts I would like to share. I know everyone's jumping through the comments, but tell me what you think about this. I think I've been thinking. Ooh, all right. Here's the thing. So I understand you have 3 microchips, and I've been thinking about myself. I'm like, okay, what's stopping me from getting a microchip? I think it would be really cool to get one, right?
Yeah.
Because
one.
well, let's start at 1. It's really innovative, right? We're pushing technology forward. We're experimenting on ourselves. It's a non-harmful plastic that Meow uses, which the body doesn't recognize as an invader, so it doesn't try and get rid of it.
It doesn't even see it. The immune system is just blind to it.
Amazing. It doesn't seem to have any negative impacts, short term, long term. and it's interesting, and it's sort of, and you can't really see it visually, aesthetically. Here's my issue, however, though, and this is why I don't think I can get one. Whenever you see a movie, right, a sci-fi film, where someone has a microchip here or wherever, at some point of the movie, they have to rip it out, okay? Because the government's coming, or for some reason it's like burning up, or they're going to explode it, so they have to cut it out of themselves. So here's my thing: I can't get a microchip without knowing I can cut it out of my skin should I need to.
Where's the easiest place to get rid of it? I reckon here is really good. There's like, the skin is very thin. That's part of the reason I got it here. Actually, the skin is very, very thin. Have a feel how thin the skin is.
Oh, I'm gonna feel it.
You can do this at home if you want to have a feel. Now have a feel.
It's like a pellet under his skin, like, but just a little one, a rice
See if you
pellet.
can feel where this is. This skin is like 5 times as thick. Do you feel how much thicker it is?
I can't even feel it.
Yeah.
Hold on, but I want to. Where is it?
Yeah, you got your thumb on it.
All right, got it. It's like a
Smooth.
little vein. It's like a little
Yeah.
bone or vein or
Can
something.
you feel how much thicker the skin is?
Much thicker.
It's much more difficult. This one and this one, I actually, they had
What's
to
that
like
one?
opal hard.
Can I feel that one?
Yeah, the skin is very thin.
Oh, he's got a scar here.
Little scar, tiny little scar. You can hardly see it.
Oh,
It's
can you
very
see the
bright.
scar? Hold on. Let's,
Yeah, there you go.
There. There's a microchip in
Yeah.
there. So, would you be able to cut it out if you had to?
I think I'm going to take Eden's advice. Latex pocket. So we joke around because at the moment the chips, they're a bit shit, right? They don't do much. They've got a couple of kilobytes of information.
Links
so
to-
they need to be
Yeah.
upgraded all the time. So we're like, how about we just put some Velcro and just put the new chip in, take the old chip out.
Wow.
Bit of Velcro, or maybe one of these push buttons that you have on the end of the doona cover.
All right. Okay, but answer my question. Could you cut it out if you needed to? If I was like, in the next 5 minutes, they're about to run through the door and explode your microchips, would you be able to grab a knife and just get
This
them out?
one? Yep.
No,
That
but
one?
would you mentally be ready for that?
This one, yes. The other two, no.
Okay, yeah. That's my
It
only
depends
issue.
on what's going to happen. It depends on whether the consequence
Yeah.
is worse than the. I'm not worried about the pain. I don't think it'll be very painful. I've been in hotel rooms where people have cut implants out of themselves.
Wow.
Yeah, in Las Vegas, people. So the hackers, when we get together for conventions and stuff, there'll generally be one room where people are doing like backyard surgery, and they'll just sit there and like cut an implant out of their finger and put it back in. I'm like, I'm actually a bit squeamish.
Like, fair enough. Though.
Yeah, I just
fair
don't.
enough.
I'll just turn away.
Maybe I would cut it out for you. I'd be like, look that way and scream. Ah! Except I'm screaming.
Then you'll have the chip, and the government will come in, and they'll be like, "You."
No, because they're about to explode it, and I just throw it at them.
Really? This
Yeah.
is the plot for your new science fiction story.
We're like, it's still in there. But then I like, yeah, my new science fiction story.
Give them a donut because they're police, and they eat the donut. It contains a microchip.
It's not police though. It's aliens.
I don't even know what aliens eat at this point. Probably brains. What are zombies?
Could you guys have a microchip and could you rip it out? Could you do it? That's my only thing. Okay, let's keep going. Where's our comment at?
We're trying to get through here. I called Odo from 9 a practical topologist. Odo is a shapeshifter, so that's hilarious. James Newton Thomas, you would need to define your domain. Animals often exhibit extreme intelligence, far superior to humans relative to the problems they face in their environment.
With intuition, right?
So animals,
instinct.
So that's another type of intelligence. It's like intuition and instinct, which you touched on.
Which, like, animals respond so much faster than we do. Yeah.
Intelligence is often relegated to and manifest by the herd, not just by individuals. So there is a group intelligence as well. So one bee on its own isn't very intelligent, but a hive of bees is.
Yeah.
And one human on their own is often very intelligent, but a big mob of them isn't.
Oh, no, I
It's
think
like
a community...
reverse hive.
I don't necessarily agree because I think that's why, we've gotten rid of survival of the fittest. It's now community, advances our society much faster because, you have community to support the top minds, to as they grow, to do experiments for them or whatever.
That's idealized though. Does that actually happen?
Yeah, I think so. That's why we no longer have survival of the fittest. That's now why we band together as communities in human society.
Together we're stronger.
Yeah, absolutely.
It reminds me of that story about the father gave the son a stick. And he said, snap 9 of these sticks and snap them all really easily.
Yeah.
And then he gave him 9 sticks tied together. And then he's like, snap it. And
Oh, no.
no matter how he tried, he
Strong.
couldn't do it. He's like, that's why you have to stick together. Stick together.
Oh, I love it. Stick together. Okay.
Okay. Paradox. Lots of reasons, apparently. She says this is going back to what why the boyfriend will or the husband will sign up for cryonics without the wife.
She says that if I choose to continue my life after she dies, that I'm selfish and it makes my life with her less meaningful.
Do you believe that? Do you think a life if you lived forever but your boyfriend didn't choose to, does that make your relationship have less value? That's really interesting because we're going to see this come up more and more.
Yeah, and I don't think it means that it has less value. Interesting, isn't it?
Well, the thing is, it says scarcity is important.
What does?
Scarcity.
No, who says scarcity is important?
Well, this kind of this hypothesis.
Line of thinking, right.
It's saying that if you have a life that goes for 160 years and you only spend 40 of them with me, that devalues that time because you've got so much without me that it means that the time we had together was worth less. But if you only lived for 80 years and you spent 40 of them with me, that would mean that our relationship was worth a lot.
Interesting.
But I think if you have a longer life and you spent a little bit of it with someone, that actually means it's a lot, especially if it was a lot of their life, because you spent as much of their life with them as you could while they were alive. I think everyone should just live forever and then we're all sorted. What do you reckon?
We don't even need to think about it.
Be frozen together. Have an embrace and then liquid nitrogen.
It just is, you know what, just this idea is just making me think of, when someone's partner dies and then are you allowed to date someone new, like, in the eyes of the partner, that died. Yeah,
Would you want your partner to date someone else after you died?
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
If it made them happy.
No. No. I want them to fucking clone me, put me inside a surrogate, let that clone grow up, and when it turns 16 or 18, whatever legal age of relationships is, start dating me again. Yeah.
I think, definitely our egos are like, no, me, I only love me.
Yeah. No, 7 clones of me.
You can have them all at once.
That's it, one for every day.
One for every day of the week. I think that we must put our ego aside for the ones we care about.
Yeah?
Yes.
No, not for me. Not for me.
Fair enough. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Do you already know JavaScript Meow?
Nah.
I want to learn Node or React, but I think most recommend learning JavaScript first.
Yeah, but I don't know JavaScript yet, but I've played with it a fair bit. I can do simple programming in it. It's all the same thing. Learning vanilla JavaScript is a really good way. I'm going to actually speak to Nathan a little bit about it, but I think I might just learn React. Like I know a few flavors of JavaScript a little bit, and learning vanilla is like, it's all much of a muchness, I think. It's like learning a dialect of a language before you learn the actual language.
Yeah.
It doesn't make too much difference, I think.
Tom, I think you will eventually get there. You are a national treasure, Meow. Never move overseas.
Australian government can keep me for $1 million per year.
Emily says don't go Meow-Druid tape. Is that where you were learning the what were we talking about again? Video game coding.
C++ or C#.
And C#. Oh, Emily, I feel you.
So
Nathan says, yeah, man.
React is $1,100 a day for contracts.
Guys.
So you can do really well.
You can learn React.
That's the life hack.
Not me.
And this was going back to when we were talking about the...
Cancel culture is so funny. The left and the right are quite similar in wanting to cancel certain things in popular culture. Yeah.
Both of them, though, want censorship, which is interesting. It's authoritarian, right? They both want the other one... They like freedom of speech until it's against them. So the right wants the freedom to say whatever they want until people actually start holding them responsible for what they say, and then the left don't want you to say anything that doesn't align with their viewpoints. And we don't have freedom of speech in Australia. We actually have a bit more like the left. We don't allow hate speech.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay.
But we don't actually have any freedom of speech like in our laws. Like we don't actually have freedom of speech. It's sort of implied. Yeah, we have it implied.
Because we don't have a Bill of Rights, because white people have never been oppressed in this country.
And you know what? We actually don't have freedom of speech. For example, you're working for your boss and then you say something inappropriate. That's, then you can be sued or you can go to court for that. You say something to a police officer that, is rude, that you're not allowed to, So we don't have freedom.
You rape someone when you're 17 and then become the Attorney General. Whoa. And then what happens? No one can fucking call you out on it, because if he's proven innocent, it's defamation. If he's proven guilty, he's not. And when Pell was having his court case, the papers couldn't talk about it because of the defamation laws. So every other newspaper around the world could talk about Powell being, you know, the highest Catholic priest in the country being on trial for sex charges, and they couldn't talk about it in the newspaper because of defamation. But then it protects people from unfair stuff. Like Jeffrey Rush, we know he had a defamation case against the Daily Telegraph and he won. But defamation only helps rich, famous people or rich, famous people being attacked, because if I charge, you know, my next door neighbor for calling me a name, oh, well, he's going to give me like $500. Like, he could have defamed me a lot more than that in the community if he said it on Facebook or something like that. Okay, Trent's here
hello.
asking the big questions.
Trent, how close? Tell me now. How close are we to the singularity? And if you had to give it an estimate, when do you think it'll take place? Now, Trent, before we just jump into this, it's funny. I feel like each week we get an AI question, a singularity question, a cryptocurrency question. I think we need to have like really ready to go smart answers. Whereas, so we have looked at this question before. And Trent, what do you think as well?
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up the definition of a technological singularity.
Cool.
It's a hypothetical point in time at which technological growth becomes uncontrollable and irreversible, resulting in unforeseeable changes to human civilization. That's the Wikipedia. I would say we're already there.
Have a look at
if
that.
that's the case. But what we're really talking about is 2052. This is the time. Like this hasn't changed since the 80s. Like in the 80s, Kurzweil was like
Kurzweil, who was he?
Ray Kurzweil. He's like he's the head of the transhumanists. He's like the final boss.
The final boss of transhumanists. And
he's basically like, in the 80s, I think it was, he'd seen something that other people had seen too, and this was at the 60s or 70s. They came out with Moore's law. Have you heard of Moore's law?
I have. I don't remember what it is.
Every 6 months, the amount of transistors on a circuit board.
Yes, it doubles. Okay.
And it just kept on happening and happening and happening and happening, and then eventually, it changed a little bit to computing power doubles every 6 months.
Yep.
The thing is, it's still going, and every 6 months it happens. It's crazier because everything that's happened between now and then happens again. It doubles, right?
Yeah.
So we do all of human history again every 6 months. Add it on.
And it's like every iPhone now has twice the amount of storage.
Yeah, and do you remember when iPhones came out? It's not that long ago.
Yeah.
2007.
Ooh.
Now.
Yeah.
I was reading science fiction stories, and they said, there'll be a point where the technology will be obsolete by the time that it comes off the factory line.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's never going to happen. Like, that's actually ridiculous. Now, how many iPhones get released a year?
A year? Do they? I buy Androids now. I buy Huawei.
Yeah,
so I don't even know.
3 Apples get released per year, like something crazy like
Do
this,
they?
right? Yeah, well, they have the iPhone 11, iPhone 11s.
Guys, go to Huawei. It's the best.
but I'm Oppo.
You're Oppo.
I'm Oppo.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, that we can actually see that like multiple mobile phones could come out every year, and that's not crazy now.
That's amazing.
Like I can see.
Wow, that's so cool. Humans are amazing.
I can see a new iPhone coming out every month and being twice as good as it was before.
Yeah.
And I can see, okay, well then why not? Why not the second it rolls off the factory floor, the one behind it is so much better that it's not even worth picking this one up. But continuously, to the point you can never actually pick up an iPhone. And that's 2052. That's the point.
Wow.
That's what technology is like then. And Ray Kurzweil predicted it, and it hasn't changed. That's like, since the 90s, we know this is happening, and he's predicted like everything, right? He's a bit of a Nostradamus. What's interesting is when you start predicting the future, people don't remember what you missed. They only remember what you hit.
Yeah.
So he predicted the year.
Funny.
He predicted the year that a computer would beat a human in chess.
He did?
Yeah.
Mathematically? Mathematically.
Liquid maths.
Liquid.
That's what he did. Down some of that liquid mathematics.
Liquid math. Amazing. All right. You're so lucky to get a smart and hot partner, Meow. Now,
Thank you
just to
very
remind
much.
you, Sarah, who popped in just before, is Meow's partner, not myself. We are, can we say streaming partners?
We're streaming partners. Yeah.
But beautiful
We're-
Sarah
we're-
who jumped in is Meow's actual partner.
And she, I am very lucky. And she is smart and hot. Now, I wouldn't call myself a proper musician, but I've worked on a music app. Well, okay, do you have to play music to be a musician, or can you be someone that focuses on theory? Because Stephen does a lot of heavy investment into chord theory and the mathematical structure of music, and I would call that a musician.
Yeah, so...
What do you think?
Where my years of study and practice in the field.
Oh.
I feel territorial about this muso space. But
Oh.
Stephen, look, I know that because here's what I want to say is like, a lot of people learn guitar as a passion, as an amateur. But are you out there doing gigs, getting paid, not
Is that
getting
important?
paid? To me, as a musician, that's your job. You're making money out of it. Or even if you're not, you're doing live gigs. You're sharing your originals. That to me is a musician. Otherwise, you're
So
just sort of playing
if you
music.
bust, are you a musician?
Yeah.
What about if you're terrible?
That's pretty OG. Look, yeah, and then I want to say you're not a musician. Look,
Really?
I call myself a professional musician, but look, that's just me being wanky. All right.
See, I'm the opposite with science.
Pause, because I just want to say, because Stephen says you've worked on a music app to help guitarists learn chords. I made this site with a developer. You've literally contributed to music.
Yeah.
So for sure, you're a musician.
See, I'm like, you're a scientist if you call yourself a scientist. That's it.
I love
people,
that,
people
though.
are like, oh, you don't have a degree. Oh, I haven't published a paper. I'm like, it doesn't matter. If you think like a scientist, you're a scientist. That's it, right?
Fair.
And
I
I'm like, that's
that.
the bar. But I'm like, I know people with degrees in science who are not scientists. They don't think like scientists.
It should be the same with music. You should, if you like music, be a musician. It's just, I think being part of the muso culture for so long has just made me a bit wanky about it.
What about if you smoke cones and you have a guitar in your room and you just watch Nirvana film clips on YouTube? Are you a musician? Because you got the culture bit. No.
Look, there are some cultural elements to being a musician, like, playing with a band, working as part of a team of musicians, catering, your music style to the space, learning how to perform in a space, how to own a space. I think all these things are important to being a musician rather than... But then maybe could we say the same about science? It's like, well, if you don't know how much liquid goes in the beaker, then you're not really a scientist.
If you don't go to conferences, if you
Yeah.
don't, be angry at... I don't know, so many scientists are so boring.
Yeah.
A lot of them are cool, but...
Look, I think, I'm just being wanky about being a musician.
Gatekeeper. You're being a gatekeeper.
I'm just gatekeeping, so don't even listen to me.
Stay in your lane, Lucy. The musician lane that you can edge everyone out of. That
Yeah, for real. Just ignore me. But if you come up to me and you're like, I'm a musician, I'll be like, all right. Go on.
You gotta be part of the band. You gotta be part of the band culture. You gotta come making a song with me. Stop, collaborate, and listen. Is that what's gonna happen?
I've been revealed.
You should make. You know what? I think you're only a musician if you sing an intro for our segment.
True. All right. Well, but look, this is the only thing I'm wanky about. Everything else, I'm pretty chill.
Yeah, that's.
You know why? Probably because if someone's ever gatekeeping, it's because they're insecure. I'm probably...
Really?
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
If someone else is like, no, you can't come in, it's because they're insecure about their own position, probably. So it's probably just because I'm so not talented at everything else. This is the one thing I've got.
Oh.
This is what I'm holding on to. I've just psychoanalyzed myself.
Really?
Probably.
But you said you're gonna welcome him in, so maybe you're more secure than you think.
I don't know. I don't think too much about it.
I think I want to be a musician, but I lack the dedication. Just for music, though. I'm dedicated on other stuff.
Yeah.
I really try. I've tried. Discipline is not my forte.
Oh, look, neither. It's just happened to be okay with music for me. All right.
I think this is the quote of the week.
What a wanker. Anyway, go on. Yeah.
Quote of the week?
NFT microchips could be the cyborg tattoo. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when are you gonna get your NFT installed? Let's do this. Let's do a world first
Yeah.
NFT.
because for example, earlier this week, the first ever Chinese musician posted Chinese music NFT. That was a world first.
Interesting.
NFTs are this brand new ground, and I feel like you should make world history with a microchip NFT. Someone can own the space within your hand.
They can. Until I decide I've had enough, and then what am I going to do? Cut it out.
Cut it out.
That's it.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll have a chip, a spare chip. This one.
Okay, so when are we doing it?
Oh fuck! I have to. I need a crypto consultant.
Okay.
To link it up, and it will be linked directly to my chip. So what I'll do is I'll put a public key on there.
But if you make $1 million out of this, you won't need to go and learn React and Svelte. So
yeah, I'm decoupling work from income.
you're just
still
renting your body space.
That's right.
Okay, cool.
I'm a cyber slut.
Let's do
I'm
it.
a cyber sex worker. That's what cyborg sex worker. That's the equivalent.
Cool.
Okay. Or you can do the Nathan Waters method, which is 1.
1, get Meow passed out drunk. 2, rewrite implant. To open Rickroll. 3, shave an eyebrow off for good measure.
It's clever.
That's fantastic. Trent says, legit, let's talk offline about a Rickroll chip. All right.
I'm down.
Do you want a microchip? Microchips for everybody.
We should have a microchip party. I'm down. Once COVID gets a bit more sorted and we can not worry about dying.
I need to make sure I can still travel to China if I've got a microchip. That's important to me.
Well, they don't know. They don't know. Like if I go, it's one of the common questions I get asked.
They'll know because they can watch this video.
Do you have your own keeper?
What's a keeper?
Like someone who watches everything you do.
I don't know.
In Indonesia, my friend, he got given a keeper.
Oh.
So to go to Indonesia, to study there, because he was learning a language, he had to give the government his Facebook and his passwords and shit.
Oh, I see.
But then they gave him a spy.
Was he a diplomat?
No, he was a linguist.
He was a linguist.
They gave him his own watcher, and they just said to this guy James, you are now watching my friend. That's your job. You just follow him everywhere and just make sure he doesn't break the rules. And they're he's like, don't cramp my style, man. The guy's like, no, that's cool. I'm just your spy.
I love it.
And
I hang out with my spy. I'm not important enough to have one.
Maybe, not yet. If we click that link earlier on to become famous.
If we could have become famous
Twitch.
today. All right.
How about earlobes? Okay. Earlobes are a good spot. You can put stuff in there. Now, one interesting thing, implants are actually heal better than transdermal piercings, like an earlobe or something like that, because they're sealed. So the wound completely heals over. When you have an ear piercing, it actually has to make new skin.
This is what a joke I am. I've never even had my ears pierced.
Are you serious?
Because I'm afraid of the pain. So as if I'm even going to get a chip.
Can I pierce your ear for you online?
What am I even thinking?
I'll pierce your ear on live stream.
But I don't want to. Unless it's a microchip.
Oh. Yeah, maybe you can have those little earrings.
Microchip earrings?
That's the easy way to get started. Latex pocket skin. Ape together strong. Monkey. Monkey is one of my favorite memes. I am Monk. Monke. Monkey. I love this meme that's going around. I think the value of a relationship is enjoying the bond.
Says Emily. Everyone is unique. The fact that you get time with them at all should be the value. That's lovely.
And one of the
beautiful.
in polyamory, they talk a lot about equality versus equity. So spending a small amount of time with someone, but it's all quality time, might be the equivalent to living with someone where a lot of your time is doing washing and bills and stuff. But being able to just spend 1 hour a week with someone where you don't have to think about any of that stuff is actually equivalent. So people in poly relationships strive for equity.
Equity.
Everyone feels like they've got the same thing. It might not be the same thing.
Oh wow, this is interesting.
It's an NFT. It's a non-fungible relationship, right? Non-fungible hours.
Yeah.
Because some hours are worth more than other hours.
Oh, but it depends on the type of hours that you want. Oh
Yep.
wow. And what if you're hanging out with your current partner?
Yeah.
You're just I'm really tired. Can we just whatever? And the other person's like, I want to spend time with you.
Okay, so what you do is you take all your hours and you put them as non-fungible tokens on the blockchain, and your partners can trade them. Sunday morning, 8 till 9 a.m. That's up for sale. Yeah, and you can create your own currency, Lush tokens, and then your partners will have to fight for them, and you get 10% of all the profits of the sales. What do you reckon?
What is it? What's the word? I get it's good for me either way.
That's right.
Making money.
That's
Uh,
so my prediction, in the future, polyamorous people will have poly coins and they'll trade non-fungible hours with each other online.
Wow, probably. Emily says, and I agree that we should all live forever would cause many people to shift focus onto bigger things. But we should have the choice to die too if this is the case.
Yeah, so I think one of the big topics that we touch on a lot is this: you should have the freedom to embrace technology if you want, but you should have freedom from technology. And deaf culture does this by including people who have cochlear implants, for example, in the deaf community, but saying that you can be hearing or non-hearing, and both those things are okay. And
Yeah,
no one should be forced to do either.
But my issue with everyone living forever is that, well, then population growth, and how do we fit everybody?
We've still got a lot
How
of
do we
room.
feed everyone?
How many people do you reckon the Earth can support?
Oh, no idea. Because food production, right?
Yeah.
And
But like we've got more than enough food now. Like, I chuck away food every day.
yeah, we do have more than enough
The,
food.
the,
Yeah.
the starving people is a distribution problem, right? How do we get the food to where it needs to go? Not is there enough food?
Okay.
So we reckon we can probably support about 40 trillion people on the
40
planet.
trillion people.
Yeah.
Wow. Interesting.
Oh, wait, 40 billion. 40 billion.
Okay.
There's 7 billion now. We can fit about 40. Is like fine.
Yeah.
Like
wow.
and like Australia, we got like no one here, right?
Yeah.
We got like population. What's the population of
We've got a lot
what's the
of
population of Shanghai?
Oh, I used to know this, but I've forgotten it. But China's 3.12
It's
billion.
insane, right?
Yeah.
But also, there's still countryside in China.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like,
Yeah.
and China and Australia are like roughly the same size in landmass.
I don't know.
I'd say like about kind of similar.
Okay.
We could probably fit a lot more than 26 people. How many people we got in Australia? 26 million, 27 million?
Let me Google it. Do a little Google.
We colonized the universe, yes. So colonization is this really dirty word at the moment, but it's funny because like we're going to colonize Mars, but because there's no one there, it's okay to colonize it, I think. That we're allowed to use the C word.
Right. Population is currently
25.7, we've gone down, I think.
have we?
I think so. About 25 million? Is it 25? Almost 26 million people.
Wow.
How can you ever really be sure though? Because it's an oscillating number.
Yeah.
So, we can fit a lot more people.
Yeah, we could. Australia can definitely fit.
Do we want to fit more people though? Because like, we think about like population, right? Like, oh, you know, we could fit 40 billion people, but do we want 40 billion people on Earth? Because you'd be living so close to other people. What was it?
I don't know.
But I think it gets to a certain population density and you just kind of block it out. Like Sydney and Melbourne feel like they've got the same amount of people. There's just more space.
Thanks, Peter Atkinson. China is 9.6 million kilometers squared, and Australia is 7.5.
So it's
Sort of close.
it's pretty close.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's about, I think America, China, Australia, we're all about the same size.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We might have some visitors in a second.
Oh, that would be cool. Oh no.
Oh,
Okay.
in a
maybe not.
second.
Wait, in a second.
The other
With,
one.
I would love to hold an Italian greyhound. Okay. Eden says they can date anyone they want when you die, but that won't happen.
Yes, and this is talking about the
Why would it happen?
which because I'm living forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I die, they can't date whoever I want. They can only date clones of me. They have to bring me back, or virtually a virtual Meow.
Yeah.
What?
Actually, would you like to tell your current partner what you're thinking?
Can I do
Okay.
that?
Also, since we're at my house this week,
I need to know
we're bringing in.
what's happening with the clones.
When they were saying so. Jump in. So what was happening was on in
This is Sarah, everybody.
Hi.
and this is Matilda. This is
This
Matilda.
is Matilda. Everyone was making spewy sounds.
She's outside. So boyfriends will sign up for cryogenic therapy to get their bodies frozen if their girlfriends say no. They're more likely to go and get it done.
So how would you feel about Meow? So after you die, Meow wants to get cryogenically
No,
frozen.
after I die.
Oh, after you
I thought we were
die.
gonna die.
That's it. There you go. See, she knows already. Straight up. They said because they said that if the boyfriend stays alive after the girlfriend dies and starts dating other people, it diminishes the value of their relationship.
We're gonna have to update our wills.
Oh, yeah. on cam.
We have wills.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah writes wills.
I
She
write
can draft
wills.
So,
Do you want a will?
do you have a will? Do you have a will?
No.
Really? Does anyone else have a will?
No assets.
Who else here? It doesn't matter if you have assets or not.
Yeah.
Australia's carrying capacity in food is approximately 45 million. Now that's carrying capacity now. I think we could increase that quite a lot if we chose to terraform the desert.
There was a lot happening.
Oh, we are
Yes.
so far behind on comments. We really need to like.
Okay, we're gonna zip through.
We're gonna like.
When the singularity comes, will the world be flooded with orange juice? It could be. Moore's law definition.
Is the observation that the number of transistors in a dense. Yep, we talked about
It's
that.
Orange
every
juice
2
is very
years.
sticky though.
Very sticky. I explored cloning. Apparently, they don't do that yet. Now, just quickly. So just quickly, there is a religion called the Raelians, and they claim that they've cloned someone. Whether
Sorry,
they have.
the other puppy.
You can have that one, yeah.
I'm just gonna quickly. Emily, parent. I'm not good with that. It's true. I don't think there is many wins for my money. You might think that they love you for your money, but no, they really love you for brand new leopard skin pillbox hat. Hi, I'm a fan from Brisbane. Hi, Liz. Liz, we have a fan from Brisbane has tuned in, and then how many? I'm gonna watch the stats afterwards. I'm gonna see how many more viewers we get when we doubled the amount of girls and doubled actually there's 4 girls now. There's 4 girls. It's even quadrupled.
Guys, quick, can we just
Slowly
have a
edge
moment
me
to
out.
talk about these
Slowly
Italian
edge me out.
greyhounds?
Yeah.
Would you like to just say something about them?
I love them. This is Matilda, and this is Indigo. Matilda is the good one, and Indy is just...
The one with personality.
Beautiful.
And they're ex-show dogs.
They're ex-show dogs. We adopted them maybe 2 months ago, a month or 2.
They're ridiculous. They're so small and cute.
Also, she's very bored of the show.
And
And they just they're super nervous and like frightful, but they're so long-limbed and cute. They're like greyhounds, but they're mini. They're so cool.
they look like Dobby from Harry Potter.
Can we get up to the camera?
Yes.
Destroy.
Wait, hello.
We're gonna have to.
Also, they're not like other dogs. They're not really used to being held.
No,
They are. They love being held.
Yeah?
But we're just
Okay,
nervous
okay.
at the moment.
Sarah and I have a lot of
Camera
pets, so we'll try and bring some out every now and then.
Have we done a pet tour?
I haven't done a pet
Wait.
tour, but I'll bring some over. I'll bring over one of the other ones in a sec. I fed
alright.
Freckle before, so.
Wow, we
Okay.
have been.
Did you feed Freckle on camera?
No, I might feed him on camera. I'll get him out and just have a play. Okay, big fan from Brisbane. I guess I say I'm more of a music researcher. Do you want to read Stephen's comments super quickly? I've looked at the maths of chords.
Stephen, I guess I'd say more of a music researcher. I've looked at the maths of chords and scales and also biomechanics of the hand. I don't play songs, but I sometimes practice scales and arpeggios. But I'm not that focused on that. I was going to write a book in part on the relationship between physics and sound.
Now, arpeggios, I play the harp very poorly, but
So arpeggios are just you're basically figuring out the chord. So na 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 na. You're just playing them one note at a time.
That's right.
but
They're good
within-
warm-ups.
Yeah, but within the chord.
now arpeggio means literally on the harp. Because when you have the harp, as you pull your fingers away, the chords are naturally broken.
Makes sense.
It does.
Makes more sense
Arpeggio.
than- I played it on the piano a lot.
Yeah. Now, are you guys affiliate now? No, we are not affiliate yet. Please, if you haven't already, log on to our Twitch and then click
Oh,
follow.
guys, okay, yeah. In order for us to become affiliates, would you please? You don't need to pay any money, but if you could just follow us on Twitch. If you could follow us on my account, Lush_ESS. If you just search that into Twitch, the name should come up. That's Meow and I's combined channel. We'll change the name of it at some point.
And if you do want to spend money, I'll send you my Beamer at the bottom of this comment. I might get them something, but it'll be for me.
So there's our Twitch.
Is that my PayPal?
I
There's
love how chaotic it is with the puppies.
It
This
is,
so
they're insane.
whoa.
They're insane. Okay.
It's just become girls and puppies now.
And that's it. I'm just gonna quickly.
Sorry, Steve. I didn't even make a comment. Sorry. I just. I'm
I would read that book. I
excited.
would read that book. I'm very interested in music theory.
Stephen, look, from what I've learned about you from our online relationship is that you're a fantastic researcher, and I really respect that. So absolutely, I can count on you to have read all the correct sources. So that's really cool, and in that sense, you're a musician.
Also, do people do two-factor authentication stuff with implanted chips? Yes, they do. If you're interested in two-factor authentication on chips, I highly recommend following along, especially on Instagram, the Vivo Key Japan. So that's the guy who did most of my chips. Is one of his companies is Vivo Key, and in Japan they are like obsessed with cyborgs.
Yeah.
So I've actually been interviewed on Japanese TV a couple of times.
Cool.
They fly people out to interview us about it, and they're like fascinated. So dogs are off camera. Vivo Key Japan, if you're interested in two-factor authentication stuff. We're catching up. Population.
We're catching up. Australia
Okay.
is
This
currently-
is not a good angle for any of us on this camera.
No.
We need to
No,
fix that.
we're all looking so hot.
We look better in person.
Okay. China is 9.6
She
million.
does.
And Australia is, what did we say? Okay. So the population of Shanghai and Australia is basically the same.
That's right. I remember that now. That's amazing. However, when you're in Shanghai, you're not like crowded up against people in the street. There's lots of space. There's lots of room. So it seems to be pretty equally dispersed in terms of people.
Check out the population density. In Australia, it's 7.6 million square kilometers. And in Shanghai, it's 6,000 kilometers squared.
Ooh.
So that's insane to think about. But it doesn't feel crowded, you say?
No, not at all.
Mm.
Perhaps living. Okay, so
Did
living
you
quarters.
live in a high rise?
Lived in the bottom of a high rise in a compound with lots of Chinese people, and our home was incredibly they said it was incredibly small. Yeah.
I like the fact that during coronavirus they welded people into their apartments who were like,
that?
yeah.
Oh,
You should make excuses.
Let me just get.
Oh, you're right.
There's corn. Oh.
Always. Every time you
It's
vomit,
so
there's-
Why
slimy.
did she eat corn?
I don't know. Oh. Thank you, Sarah. How good was that?
All right. Okay. All right.
Have a little
You
pee.
guys just want to rotate and I'll clean it.
Can we rotate?
I don't know.
That was hilarious.
Sorry. Okay.
Harry,
Guys, we're live.
Harry-
We have to
Harry-
finish this stream.
Okay, so
Is it on you?
Oh no, it's
No,
not.
no.
It's just
It's not
down
on you,
the
though?
corner
There we
of the
go.
couch.
So,
All right, okay,
we have some guests.
let's wrap this up.
We've got some guest dogs watching tonight.
Is it Caesar?
Harry, a Jack Russell.
Oh, this is my mum's dad's dog, my grandpa's dog. We're watching the podcast, and Harry is very impressed with the special guest. I
It's
love
fantastic.
that.
I want to meet the aliens in the neighboring cosmos, but I'm worried that they'll think I'm discussing with my fleshy skin and hairy strands.
I know.
So, hair strands.
We're
so,
just like flesh bags.
Michio Kaku came out this week. Is that his name? That physicist, the popular scientist?
Oh, I don't remember.
And he said it's insanity for us to contact aliens. It's a really bad idea.
Why?
And a lot of people have said this.
Because they might want to conquer us.
Exactly right. Colonize the universe.
Who's read The Three-Body Problem by Liu Cixin?
I haven't. Is
It's
this...
the best. It's amazing. It's all about the theory. So, okay, I'll go into it next week. But
Okay.
basically, it's the idea, and in the book, scientists are sending out into space messages saying, is anyone out there? But it's the concept and the theory that the aliens say back, be quiet or they'll hear you.
Oh.
Okay, and it's all about this concept. It's an amazing sci-fi story. How am I with snakes? Let's go. Let's do a snake.
Are the pups outside?
Guys, we're about to do a snake.
Okay,
oh
we're
my
doing.
god.
We're doing. Are you okay with snakes?
No.
Are you not okay?
Bring it over.
No, Noodle's
Let's
fine.
go, let's
Noodle's
go.
fine.
Noodle will not spew.
Noodle's fine.
Okay.
He is
Noodle won't
safer
spew.
than Indy.
Okay,
I'm
we're
just
getting.
not
We're
gonna
getting
move.
our.
I'm just not
our,
gonna
our,
Do
move.
you
our,
want me in it or do
Ellen-
we just pass?
I'm just not
Yeah,
gonna move.
you can come in. Come in. Oh, she's so warm. There you go. Are you okay? Are you okay? Okay, so this is Noodle. Noodle's an albino. Noodle is an albino. I'm gonna put it around your neck. Noodle's an albino Darwin carpet. And one of Sarah's one of Sarah's snakes that she brought.
I'm so
Okay.
sorry,
It's
Lucy.
okay. No, I said yes to
Are you
this.
okay? Are you
Yes.
okay? Okay, Noodle's fine.
You
Just
can
be the
revoke
tree.
that.
Be the tree. There you go.
Noodle is very friendly. He's been used for lots of shows.
And who most famously recently, Noodle
Mum.
did a. Do you want to come sit down? Noodle. Where you going, Noodle? Noodle did a special guest appearance with Shannon Knoll.
No, that's not famous.
Noodles' muscles are very strong.
Have you held snakes before?
Never.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Oh,
It's fine.
Oh,
Everything
come.
is fine. Everything is fine.
this is
Come on.
Noodle, everyone.
this is Noodle.
I'm like literally crying, but I love it. That's great.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
no. I just told you I was fine with snakes.
Noodle's growing too, so Noodle's probably one of my favorites. Like,
This is how
I
you
don't-
face your fears.
It is. Meow, when we first started getting together, he was terrified of spiders, so I brought him 10 baby ones.
This is pretty hot. You're just like hanging with a snake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I just when the head sort of came near me, I was like, oh.
So a lot of people are scared of snakes, but they're actually really good pets. They're like they don't take very much.
Noodle goes so well with your outfit.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I planned this.
Yeah.
Oh, that
Okay,
was wild.
let's catch
that
up
was
quickly.
wild.
Let's
Okay,
catch
I'm
up.
going to put him away.
Really? I just want to.
Do you want him to go away?
I'm gonna see if we can
No.
get.
I don't. I'm just
How did
I
it
don't
feel?
want him to
How did
go
it
away.
feel?
Like scary. I'm just
Scary.
like nervous about it. I see his face.
He can't see very
But
well
everything's
because.
fine. No, he's a beautiful, majestic creature, and I know that he's safe. It's just my instant response is just fear. Look how beautiful he is.
He's
His
very
little
chilled
tongue's
out.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Please, all animals are welcome. Let's leave the spiders today.
Okay. We'll do spider stream.
I need to level up slowly.
Now snakes are really weird because they're very long. Like we know that, right? But all their organs,
That's why
like
his name is Noodle.
He's like wrapped around. Look, can you show them your neck? He's like wrapped twice around
Yeah.
your neck. That's crazy, Chad.
so with humans, we have all of our body parts are like we have a lung here and a lung here, and like everything is kind of like mirrored across, right? Our eyes, but in snakes, it's like the head's normal, but then everything here, they like put it in a line. So there's like a lung,
Sorry,
and
I'm
then
like
a
not
lung.
listening. I'm sorry.
What? So are you snake phobic? Would you say, or just worried?
So no,
I think she did pretty well.
I
Did
feel
very
so
well.
safe with you here. Like you are snake handler
Normally,
extraordinaire.
if people don't know much about snakes or haven't held them, it's a lot more of a gentle process.
Rather than
On film, like, here you go. But
Totally.
I don't know, assumed you would.
Yeah,
them before.
for sure. No, we could do
Not
another
that.
round.
do you want to meet Freckle?
I think that's enough.
Yeah, Freckle.
I wanna
Maybe
You know
we
who
could
Freckle
bring-
is?
Freckle's like a lizard goanna.
Yeah.
Goanna.
A lizard goanna.
I love Freckle. Freckle's like one of my favorites. He's really cool.
Yeah. No, I just believe like the way you become friends with animals is by getting to know them. But it's just so I've been in the bush a lot and and just always been taught like stay away, like
Be respectful
stamp
of
your
snakes.
feet so that they know they can go away.
No, I don't find them.
But when he was like on me, like his grip was so strong. Like this is like that's a whole line of muscle. Look how beautiful the curves are. Wow. I'm just looking at her body. It's like a mistake.
We did some research and we found out the top non-game Twitch streamers, lots of titties.
Yeah,
That
guys.
sounds about right.
Everyone else on Twitch, like
Lucy, you gotta, like...
I need. I'm like letting the team
that
down.
is what
you'll notice.
Sarah is for.
Oh, sorry.
No. Like just my reaction is what it is. It's fine. I'm just
Cats are the dogs. Who's that?
No, pass, David. Sorry. True, we could develop the Ord River, but it would require enormous CO2 emissions to do so. Yeah, so basically to terraform Australia to increase the amount of food it produces takes a lot of CO2. So you're like chasing the dragon, right? We pump a lot of CO2 out to hopefully pull more back out. It's so much better with all the girls. Thank you, Christy. Have you still got Monty? So I had Mike Archer's snake for a long time, but he's with my friend who's a geneticist, Kyo. So I don't have him at the moment. It was a very cool Antaresia maculosa, a spotted python, very similar to my snake Nemi. Liz, Harry, face it.
Face it, level or above photography 101. Stefan Ray, what are you talking about?
The camera angle. We've all got double chins
good
going
memory.
on
Yes.
and bad
We
lighting.
need, we need to raise it
Also,
up.
I couldn't get my lash appointment this week, so I'm like bold.
Best podcast yet with the spewing.
I'm gonna lash
The Dark Forest. Could you please
The Dark Forest, yes, that's the second book in the series of what's the whole series called? So it's often called the Three Body Problem. This is the Liu Cixin Chinese sci-fi author series. What's it called? The whole series, I've forgotten. But anyway, that's the second book. I'm currently reading that one. Please don't spoil anything. It's amazing.
String theorist Michio Kaku. Reaching out to aliens is a terrible idea. We should actually talk about that a bit next week and come up with some arguments about for and against. Because I actually studied astrobio at university and we studied how we would send out a message. We already know exactly what we need to do.
I thought we'd already sent out messages.
We have. If you could send a message to outer space, what would you send?
Oh, I need to think about that. And then we need to revise it and make sure it's peaceful and doesn't reveal our location exactly, but allows the other side to at least communicate something.
I would send a Rickroll.
Do you have the secret to retirement?
What is with his under his eyes?
I would ask for this. Also, somebody today said that I saw on my feed, if I wanted to send one thing to outer space, it would be King Kong vs Godzilla, because I need them. I don't know.
To think that there's titans on Earth.
Yeah, maybe that's good to send out. Like,
Hollow
look
Earth
how
theory.
terrifying this is. And also, they said like they didn't know whether they liked this movie or not, but it was so cooked.
I just saw it yesterday.
Oh.
Like King Kong versus Godzilla.
Yeah. What is it? How is it?
Well, I don't want to reveal the ending because people haven't seen it. And you're like,
Okay, yeah.
And
But
who are you
verdict,
rooting
verdict.
for? A verdict of I liked it.
Okay,
The
Did you
human
like better?
the human
King
side of the
Kong?
story doesn't make a lot of sense,
Okay.
but the Titan side of the story is really interesting, and love a bit of Titan fighting. It's sort of like Power Rangers. Like, it just makes me think
Because
of
they have
the
the
fun.
Power Rangers all linked together to make that giant Godzilla-y.
Yeah,
type
I
thing,
love
don't
these
they?
icons.
Which
Yeah.
is your favorite Power Ranger?
Oh, I was a pink one, basic bitch.
That was my least favorite one.
Which
Yeah.
is your favorite?
Well, I wanted to be
Not
the
the
pink
pink
one.
one.
Did you?
And then, I was in love with the red one, of course.
Oh, here's American.
I don't know, he had, long hair.
I like the robot. The robot was what I wanted to be, but they all assembled. Which is your favorite?
Yeah. Ivan Ooze.
Ivan Ooze, that his name?
No,
I don't remember the names.
I don't remember.
I don't remember the names. I just remember not liking the pink one. I'm not sure why.
I'm just going to put my arm here.
Okay, I'm just
See
going to
what happens.
quickly zip through. Oh no.
I'm okay with the
what a cute
body.
snake. It was a noodle.
Oh,
You've been
I'm
brave,
like-
Lucy. You've been brave, Lucy.
Oh, thank you. And I love how my mum was just like, oh no.
Fine
Is your
with
mum on
snakes.
here?
Yes.
Hi,
I can't do with
Lucy's
snakes
mum.
either. I can't do spiders, but snakes are fine. A lot of people are kind of like this. Trilogy titled Remembrance of Earth's Past. Chinese.
Oh, I just licked my tongue.
Chinese. How do we say this in Chinese, Lucy?
Hold on. Okay. 地球, and then that should be 注释. Oh, 王室,不好意思,就是王室. So 地球, I think that means Earth, and then 是不是王室, past.
The remembrance of
Oh,
Earth's
and it's
past.
right there.
There you go.
I love that. That's really handy. Should have just read the English translation.
Green, then white after season 2. So that's Eden's favorite Power Rangers. I want to know why
yeah.
though. James Gilronan, send a sequence of frequencies that could not be produced naturally. Also, introduce the intro to Power Rangers,
Yeah, send
obviously.
that to- yeah, of
so I think
course.
start with Power Rangers. Then one of the things that they talk about a lot is sending prime numbers. So prime
In the Power Rangers.
No, into space.
Oh.
into space.
Also in Power Rangers.
But
remember that
funnily
bit.
enough, there are five Power Rangers, which is a prime number. So maybe
Oh,
We should send the second season.
yeah, of Power Rangers, and they're like there's prime numbers in there. So at the moment we are sending Rickroll, Power Rangers season 2, and Godzilla.
Me being a nerd, I'd be like, I want to send them an orchestral symphony to show them that through human, what instruments we've created and what sounds we find pleasing. And I do feel like orchestral pieces, they're a beautiful example of the whole range of human instrumentation. So I'd like to send an orchestral piece.
And then
That'd be lovely.
Britney Spears toxic.
And then Toxic,
Yeah, Toxic is like everyone loves that song,
Yeah.
right? Like it was pretty good. Pink Power Ranger for life, yo. That's Christy.
Yeah, Christy.
Green Dragon
Basic
Zord was
bitch.
awesome. Also cool suits. I like the that Power Rangers were like they had their own Zords and then they became like Megazord. They like all combined to make the ultimate one. It's sad that I think I remember Red. Oh, Peter remembers. Red was Jason, blue was Billy, black was Zach, pink was Kimberly, green was green/white was Tommy.
Did you Google that?
Okay. And now we're back. We're actually back onto the screen now, which means we can do this. Hold on.
Oh.
Check this out. Oh.
Ooh.
Wow.
We're watching. We're seeing what you
We've
guys
caught
saw
up
now.
to the comments. All right.
Okay. I'd be like Carl Sagan and just send a mixtape.
How come you have follow you on Facebook but you on Insta?
Because we haven't branded yet. So if you have any ideas for
as
what
in
we
the
should...
links down the bottom.
Because
I like his followers generally are on Facebook and mine are generally Instagram.
did Zordon name the Zords after himself? Yeah, I think so.
We've received 100 messages today with Restream
Yes.
chat. Thank you very much, everybody.
Is that goal every week?
Hey.
Hey. This is how deaf people clap. Because deaf people can't hear, so they...
We also need to work on captions to make it a little bit more accessible.
We do. We would
Fair.
love to, because we actually had a deaf
Captions.
commenter
Agreed.
come last week and then criticise us and say that wasn't good enough.
Wow, that's a bit sad.
Who said that?
Vince.
Who's Vince?
Vince runs
Vince.
the Inner West Auslan meetup.
Yeah.
So,
Agreed,
IWAS. So,
Yeah, we're not doing well enough. Exactly. We need to add that.
do not send Arnold Schoenberg's 12-tone rose. Is this
This is a musical thing.
Is this infinite climb? So you know, have you played Mario 64?
Yeah.
When you run up the stairs, you can never get to the top, but the sound sounds like it's always going up.
Yeah. It's
As
just like
an
a musical trick. Yeah.
Auditory illusion.
Yeah.
Like an optical illusion, but with sound. Peter watched the shit out of. So I studied.
Amazing. I'm impressed, Peter.
I studied Power Rangers at school when we were learning film, because they are like very extreme in the way they film things. So like if they want to show and it shows you like these like tropes of cinematography. So if you want to like make someone look insignificant, you like take the camera from up above and you like point it down. And if you want to make someone look powerful, you take it at the ground and point it up. But
We
they have,
know
like,
this for Instagram photos, right? We're like, we want to look elongated. We're like,
I'm
you
learning.
know.
I'm teaching Meow how to take good photos of me.
Yes.
He's getting there, but I'm a bit disappointed on this view.
It's all about angles. As you were saying, you've studied
about
this.
the
You've got to
angles,
go
yeah.
like a little bit low, elongate the leg.
You should rebrand with the Power Ranger theme and just like put your faces
Oh,
on
that,
the
yes.
If you have any ideas for our channel name, please let us know, because we're going to brand, and that'd be really cool. And
Brand ourselves with iron.
boom, that's it.
We're going to brand
matching tattoos.
yachting tattoos and snake. And
So
snake.
We're not going to send out.
I think we have an hour each week where you just like dance with the snake.
Intermission.
How much do I get for that?
10% of the money we
Once we
make.
become affiliates, then it's on.
That's
It's
it.
on. Guys, please, yeah,
Okay.
if you don't have an account, if you could just make one on Twitch. We're very happy if you want to watch us on Facebook, but if you could pretty please follow us, we would really appreciate that.
What happens when snakes go to space? Can they move in any direction?
I don't know. I mean, a dog died when it went up.
Which one? Laika.
Yeah.
The Russian dog. But we've sent frogs to space, and frogs,
True.
interestingly, do just kind of jump in every direction. They don't know what the hell's going on.
Can you imagine the frogs without gravity?
It's hilarious. And the thing is, like, can you imagine writing the application for this? Which is like, dear government, haven't you ever just wondered what happens if you put a frog in space?
Yeah.
And someone's like, yes, here is $1 million. This actually happened, right?
What sort of frog was it?
I don't know. It's from like the 70s, and it's in a tube, and they have like a camera, and this frog is just like, its legs are like kicking out like breaststroke kicking, and it's just spinning around. It has no clue what's going on.
Yeah.
To answer Emily's question, snakes are deaf. So no, they don't.
Are they deaf? Wait, let's all sing snake jazz.
What is snake jazz?
But they have another way of hearing. They can sense vibrations. And
So it's not hearing me scream before. So because I was like, I don't want to freak it out by screaming.
No, but they also like taste the air with their tongue, and that's why they flick their tongue a lot, especially in unfamiliar environments.
What a funny one.
See, look,
He's
it's
so
kind of like
funny.
I don't know if you can see.
He
Can you
keeps
put,
hissing every now and then.
so
yeah, he's a hissy boy, but he's
he has a forked
Noodle.
tongue, so he can smell in stereo. And smell is one of their biggest senses, and their eyes are pretty useless. But
Unlike
underneath
me.
his mouth, you have no sense of smell.
I have no sense of smell.
Yeah.
The pythons underneath their jaw, they have these pits, and if you, which you'll be able to see in a second. Right?
Lock onto you. That is a wait. Put your arm in the cup. That is a serious lock.
There we go. You'll be able to see. I don't know if you can see
friend.
underneath his jaw. He has these little pits.
Yeah, he's got these weird like little.
Yeah, looks like a smile, and that's actually infrared sensing, so he can look for heat. And now, when they're about to shed, they use the infrared more, and that their strike rate actually increases. Do you need a hand?
Snakes know when the vibe is up.
Yeah. So
I
now,
can't lose this hand.
Noodle's
I'm
not fully
getting
grown.
it tattooed on Thursday.
Noodle's
It's gone purple.
Noodle's not fully grown.
No, bring it back.
Okay. Snakes know
He's
when the
really
vibe
cute,
is up.
Christy.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit scary.
The
Snakes
organ-
in space is a link.
There we go. He's so cute.
So interesting.
Now, I think, how much longer do we want to keep going for? Because we've got 100 comments.
Yeah, and I said I'd go to my grandma's house about now. So
You should just bring your grandma on show.
On show.
yeah, I don't know. She's very Polish,
very
very
Polish.
old. So that's I guess when I'm scared, I like sing
Oh.
in a funny,
So
So
not
you
in a
Polish?
cute way. I'm half Polish.
Hmm.
So my
You're
mother's
the first
side.
Polish person I've liked.
snakes in space.
Oh,
Microgravity. So they're-
yeah. Wait, wasn't your ex Polish?
Do we have any mutuals on this?
No idea. No
Okay,
idea.
so.
So is my ex-boss.
Sorry, just distracted.
If you're watching your
Fine, everything's
get a
okay. Everything
surprise
is
in
fine.
the
Everything
mail.
is fine.
Okay,
It's
there
okay.
is- there
It's okay.
is- there
It's
is
okay.
a snakes in space
He was like
experiment.
licking my leg. Yeah.
They tie themselves in knots and others attack
Oh.
themselves because they need very good spatial reasoning, right? So do you want to put your hand underneath? There you go. Be the tree. This is the trick. Be the tree.
Noodle's got something to say. You can't see, but he's like
He's trying to get over the microphone.
pushing his head on the microphone.
Everything's okay. Everything's okay.
There we go.
Everything's okay.
There we go. Just be the tree. There we go. So snakes need good spatial reasoning to not tie themselves in knots.
Yep.
Can you see where his legs used to be? There's another interesting thing. I'll see if I can point it at the camera. So he's tying himself in a knot actually now. If you have a look under where my right hand is, here, there is actually the remnant of where his legs used to be.
Let's just show
Let's
you.
have a look. Oh, can you see? Let's have a look. Hold him out.
Can you
him
hold
out.
it?
Yeah.
This is
is his
as
butt.
well. Can you hear his hissing?
That's his butt.
And it's where his tail starts.
But
which
it's
is
also the
interesting.
spurs.
He's currently winding himself around the microphone.
What do you have to say, Noodles?
There we go.
He's going for my leg. It's cool.
Okay.
It's fine.
Oh, sorry.
No.
No, it's right.
I'm
Hold on,
I'm
hold on.
just like saying out loud what's happening to comfort myself.
Oh, there we go.
So don't worry, you guys. I'm just like this
There's
is just
so much chaos on the stream, aren't they?
There's so much chaos in stream.
So much chaos.
No, but like I'm fine. Sorry. Even though I'm just like it's just like me self-comforting.
There was another thing we were going to talk about this week.
Snake
Boom, boom, boom. There was another thing we wanted to talk about quickly, which was mycological concept of species, which is good now we've got an animal. We're going to talk about species. So last week, Stephen asked whether...
Is Steve Nunning on this?
I don't think Steve Nunn is in here, but there was another spider person.
Okay.
Steve Roger, I think.
Oh, yeah.
ASMR. So good. So what is a species, right?
This is the best because you guys are talking and I'm just like,
What does species even mean? What does it even mean?
Our species, they're like...
Do you want me to put him back? Should
No,
we say goodbye to Noodle?
no,
I think we should
I
say-
need to learn to be comfortable with this majestic beast.
You can do it off camera.
Besides,
too.
I think this might be entertaining for people anyway.
I want to get Noodle. I want to get Freckle out. 'Cause Freckle's my favorite.
Okay, well, if you want to get Freckle out, do you want to put Noodle away?
Yeah, I'll put Noodle away.
It's like this every now and then. It's like a.
I'm gonna put
It's like
Noodle
a.
away. I'm gonna... Here you go, Noodle.
You're also like making little sounds every now and then, so like
Oh, am I?
it's a bit of both.
Wow. Snakes on the stream. Yeah, seriously, what is the difference between species, an animal, and genus, and the other one, hi meow? What's your theory? So we're just categorizing.
Oh well, I
like,
think when Meow asks a question, he normally is about to tell you the answer. So you normally just don't answer. That is right, even if you know the answer. But I think species, just on the top of my head, species is defined as an animal that can breed and then have fertile children that can then breed. For example, like a mule isn't fertile.
okay.
Ligers can't produce more ligers. They can breed and create an animal, but they can't continue to line.
Yeah. And so different species within one, like within, like one. What are we saying? What's
You're trying to say genus. So a genus
Yeah.
is a collection of very similar species, and they group them that way.
Awesome. Okay, so differences in the genus equal species. So what sort of differences are we talking about? We're talking about just different evolutionary differences, really. So what it could be the color of their fur or their skin. It could be, I don't know.
It really depends. Like if you speak to spider experts, which is why I asked Steve Nunn every time he sees one that has a different color, he's like, new species. But like dogs, for example, they're all one species, but there's so many different breeds. There's so many different types.
Yeah. So breeds. So okay, so it's genus, species, breeds.
Yeah, breeds is not really a thing. It's more like just variation within the species.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, because you can breed all different dogs, and some shouldn't breed. French bulldogs, pugs.
I just looked up and saw the snake skeleton you have up there. Wow, what a house we're in today.
Oh, Freckles.
We have a new animal, guys.
What's
What
on
is
his
happening
face?
today? Oh, are you ready?
Susie,
Can you
you
guess
got
what
me.
it is?
Is it just what did you feed him?
Not so
Put
afraid
in
of this one.
some beef. So that's right. The species has to be.
Do you like
two-
lizards?
Yeah, I love lizards.
So this is
Here we
Freckle.
go, round two.
This is Freckle. Freckle is very, very cute.
Freckle is my sand monitor.
And
He's looking a bit grumpy at the moment.
he's not that grumpy. He will hiss if he's very grumpy.
He won't bite, but he will whip you with his tail,
Okay.
which
he's
will
pretty
cause like instant bruises. It hurts. But he won't bite you.
I'm just gonna keep my hands. He's been eating
But
some.
he's good.
He's been eating
Meow
some beef.
has
I feel like I
fallen
missed a
in
snake.
love with my little lizard.
Yeah. I need to text my grandma real quick.
Okay.
Meow, when did you get your pants?
These are copies of pants from the 90s, and they're supposedly making a comeback. Which all that means for me is my pants are just going to get more expensive. That's the only difference, because I'm going to wear them regardless. Now, species, generally, you need to... it's two things that can breed together and have fertile offspring. But there's many, many exceptions. Orchids, the plants, there's 13,000 orchids. All of them can breed between the different species. So the biological concept of species starts to go out the window. In
Is
mammals...
Andrew in on this?
Is which?
Andrew.
Which Andrew? Oh, on the Fish Andrew? I'm not sure. He should be on. He should watch. But
He would always say something.
he would. You know? So describe what it's like to see him.
He keeps looking at me when I go to touch him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
He's got like a bit
What
of
do you
meat just
see?
hanging out of his mouth. If you can see
Yeah.
that little dangly thing.
It looks like larvae or something.
He's got. It's a bit of leftover meat or something that he's eating.
He looks suspicious as fuck.
He does.
He's like,
He is though. He's like, why am I out of my tank? It's nighttime.
Why is
Because
it?
he has quite a large tank and it has a heat spot where he like baths and things underneath it. But it's on a timer and a thermostat, so once it's off, so he's gone to bed for the night.
oh, okay, so he's,
And so
like
he's very
sleepy. His skin, it almost looks like a glitter coat. I know that
It's
sounds
very
really
beautiful,
strange,
isn't it?
but yeah, it's like someone's beaded his skin with different like glitter beads.
I'll see if I can get that
could do
close
that.
up. A
Yeah.
little bit. He's got very, very beautiful patterning.
He's got a bit of sand on him, so he's actually more red than this, but
His little tail.
he loves digging.
Now, what's interesting about varanids, this is a varanid, is that snakes have two penises. Much like Klingons, they have two hemipenes. But the females generally only have the same, like, a normal reproduction organs. But varanids have 2 clitori. Clitorises.
Yeah, I think you've said this before.
2 clits. So these, if Freckle's a girl,
We
lucky
haven't
her.
sex Freckle, by the way, because there's not really a great way to sex sex monitors at the moment. Most people will, to sex reptiles, you would probe them.
What's probing them?
Oh, did someone ask that?
No, but you say we just probe them, but I don't.
We just probe them.
Most
Okay,
people
so what
probably
you do
don't.
is, it's pretty much sounding, but for
Is it sounding?
reptiles. I don't know.
What's
So
sounding?
you can,
Get the metal rod.
What?
Do you know
Oh, you're
sounding?
asking me. I thought you were asking me.
Sounding?
Sorry. No, I don't know. Sorry.
oh, she doesn't know.
I'm so distracted by the animals. I think
So
I'm
it's
out.
like a
for
little
the rest of
metal
this
rod, and
trip.
you get a whole bunch of.
Oh, no,
different ones
stay. I
hanging
mean,
on.
like,
I'm
I'm
gonna
out.
chuck him back.
Like, I have nothing more to offer.
He's
Sorry.
pretty chill.
Yeah. You guys should really just do a stream where, but you've sort of done this on Facebook, but where you just introduce all your animals, or we could just include the added entertainment of me just squealing while you guys talk about them.
It's a bit of both.
What's entertaining,
Let's do a
everybody? Just let us know. Is my suffering your enjoyment? Yeah, I think we shall wrap it up because my grandma is waiting. She's
Your
waiting.
grandma's waiting.
The
I
Borg
know.
have USB-C.
What's that?
Ooh.
I'm sorry.
No worries. All right.
Thank
okay.
you very much, everyone, for tuning in to us for another week. Do the Borg have penis? That is, I'm going to take that question.
Then it says they have USB-C.
We're going to take the sex life of the Borg on notice for next week. We'll include some links. In the meantime, if you guys have any ideas for what we think we should call our little channel, and how we should brand ourselves, please let us know.
Let us know. What else? Yeah. Actually, if someone comes up with a good name, they're going to get a prize from us.
Oh, really?
Prize?
Incentive. What would you like it to be?
I would like it to be Lucy singing their name into the credits.
Yeah, easy, done.
There
That
you
would
go.
be nice. I'd like that too.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you very much, everyone. And
I'll give you a 30-second song if you come up with a really good name for us. I'll riff
Amazing.
on the name. What a delight.
we don't have a Discord yet. We may at some point in the future get one.
Yeah.
But at the moment,
Pretty please just jump on our Twitch and press follow. It's just really important for the development of our channel. As you can see, we've added cool graphics. We've fixed our screen. We've got a microphone that might work. We've integrated comments. We've integrated Sarah.
I'm normally not going to crash.
there is 1,000% more animals than there were last week. We got everything.
It's just what happens when I come along.
Love it. So yeah, please jump on and follow. Yes, thank you so much, Peter, for following the first time you guys streamed. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you to people
Hope you
who've
enjoyed
been
the
here every
content.
week.
Yeah, just let us know what sort of content you like. That's also really cool.
And thank you to everyone who's been commenting every week about news that's interesting for us to talk about, because it
For
really
real.
helps us to know what's really cool for us to talk about. And the more we read about, it's actually been a really slow news week this week.
Yeah, definitely. We looked at the news and we're like, nothing happened.
There's not much.
They all went on Easter holiday too.
Yeah.
There's been like no vaccinations, like everyone's just kind of chilled out, not doing anything. So we'll continue again next week. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you guys 7:30.
Next Tuesday, and we'll be having a special stream. AFS GGS, can you watch Aiden the God Kid videos? Let's put it on the list.
Take it for next week.
Thank you so
next
much for that
Tuesday,
suggestion.
7:30, we're watching Aiden the God Kid.
And we're going to be doing a certain different type of stream where I'm going to be in
You're going to be away in Canberra.
Yeah. So
Oh,
let's try. We're going to
why?
try and Zoom. Let's just see if that works.
We are
For
split
future.
screen.
Split screen.
Yeah.
No dog vomit. We're going to have maybe captions.
That was my
Love
favourite
it.
bit of this stream was the dog vomit.
I'm ready to scrub the lounge as soon as we're done.
Fantastic.
So captions,
Patrick
a better
Palmer-Thomas.
angle for the cameras.
Are you a comedian, Patrick? If not, that's even better.
PPT can definitely come past and guest star with some comedy if he's keen.
I'm so
Where
gonna
are
laugh
you? Are you in
no matter
Sydney?
what.
PPT is
Who's PPT? Who's this?
Patrick Palmer-Thomas.
Patrick
He did my
Palmer-Thomas.
favourite little skit he did is when he pretends he's a deputy principal
I love it
Oh,
already.
amazing.
and he calls out all the kids' names on the playground.
I love
and I
it.
have flashbacks.
Sick.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you guys.
Amazing. Party on.
It's been an awesome
Peace.
stream, and
Thanks,
we'll see you
Patrick.
guys very soon in 1 week's time.